What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to yet another edition of the Hard Count. CJ, we're all the way in November. Can you believe it?
Yeah, 11 months in, 2022. Grateful, blessed. Man, just keep the people that you're close to, man. Just be grateful to people that you have for you, man, that you have with you all the time. Uh, Never take anything for granted, especially when it comes to loved ones, anybody that you got.
Facts. Speaking the truth right there. It's a pleasure to be joined by everybody on this fine November 1st. And listen, we're here to do what we always do. Entertain the people. Break down the good old American Football League, as Pat McAfee calls it now, because the NFL doesn't like them using their logos. Doesn't like that, apparently. Pat's not allowed to use logos on the show anymore. But yet he has a $4.5 million deal with the NFL to use their footage, but he can't use logos on a graphic. So like they can't have a graphic showing.
I just feel like they worried about the wrong things at times. But again,
especially for like
there's things that the players in 2022 should have been fought against and should have been gone already. But
health insurance, concussions.
Yeah, I mean, really, what it is. If you think about it, everybody's an independent contractor.
Oh, especially in the NFL.
Your deal is going to be different than anybody else's deal. And yeah, of course, guys can speak up and say, "Oh, you deserve X, Y, Z," but at the end of the day, it depends on what the team wants and what they're willing to spend. And if it don't matter what player says anything, I mean, maybe a quarterback could definitely persuade, but we saw Devontae Adams wasn't enough. But
don't even get me started on that.
We see Tyreek Hill. Wow, special.
Him and Waddle. I think what are they combined for like 1,200? No, like 1,500 yards already.
He's going to go down. It's one of the greatest to ever do it.
Hill?
No question.
I mean, listen, the way it's trending right now, I know he's on pace to break Calvin's record. Here's my thing, CJ. Now listen, don't get me wrong. I don't think this is like the MLB where Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in I think it was 153 games. That's how long the schedule was. Then the MLB's transitioned to 162, and Roger Maris hit 61 in the 162nd game of the season. So for a long time, they actually had two records of home run records, like the 153 game record and then the 162 record. But baseball is very like, you don't mess with our numbers. You don't think the NFL community will care, right? Like what if Hill is 20 yards away from the record in the last game of the season, which is technically one more than Calvin would have had. He gets 80 yards, sets a new record. Do you think people will look at it as a fake record?
I mean, at the end of the day, they agreed to add in a game. The owners and the players. So that means more stats, higher numbers. So you can't get mad at him. At the end of the day, I mean, that's what that means, right? More revenue, more money for both sides, right? So that means, yeah, of course, records are going to be broken. The game changed. Remember, Jim Brown was putting up numbers in like 12-game seasons.
Yeah.
Now we're playing 17. So you do the math. He played 9 years. Imagine if he was playing 17-game seasons. You know, 17 times 9.
I mean, you don't even have to go back that far.
Shattering the rush records.
You don't even have to go back that far because, like, records fall now. And, I mean, it is technically not the same thing that we're talking about because, it is scheming. But, like, Troy Aikman passed for, like, 15,000 career yards.
It was a scheme.
Career.
He didn't.
Like, now, if you don't pass for 15,000 yards by year, like, 7, you're probably not even a quarterback.
Yeah, but listen, if you have Hall of Fame stuff around you, you don't need to do all that passing. You need to just give it to your guys. And if you have an elite guy on the outside, you give him the ball as much as possible. Michael Irvin, playmaker. It's nicknamed the Playmaker. That's like the greatest nickname you could have.
It's certainly
like you can't out-top that nickname. You just can't.
No. I mean,
that's literally your job. That's your job, and you got the nickname of your job. Nobody else has that nickname. So that means you bring it to the table every single night. There's another thing I want to say too. I think people forget about LaDainian Towns. I was watching the NFL Network.
He was a dog, man.
Yeah, I was watching the NFL Network, right? And you see, like, I got a new pick. If you're checking that out, so LaDainian Towns was doing a little stiff arm. It's an iconic picture against the Rams. That's one of the most iconic pictures you could ever see in football. Definitely something that I appreciate. LT's one of the greatest, and I just feel like this was kind of a weak tribute to him. So we got his pickup on our logo image for the week because he was just so special, man. Just watching him play growing up, he was one of the reasons why I fell in love with the game of football. And I was just watching him on NFL Network, and I was like, he was talking about the running backs. I'm like, people really forget how great LaDainian Thompson was. Like, got an MVP. He was special, bro. He was special. 21. He was iconic, man. Using him in Madden. Can't top that. You can't top that type of stuff. That stuff people right now, these kids today, they'll never experience. Using LT in Madden. Oh man.
Back in 04. Man, what a time. Those were times. I mean, you could literally run to if you were on the opponent 1 yard line, you could run all the way back to your own 1 yard line with Vic and still score a touchdown. Because you would just keep running in circles and everybody. God, the amount of fights that probably caused. Brothers going at each other's throats. Michael Vick. He was banned, not allowed to play with the Falcons because of Vic. It's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy
Vic
times.
Vic was a cheat code. I mean, he had his own experience, the Michael Vick experience. Again, one of the greatest players I've ever seen in my entire life. So, give him a lot of credit to the reason why I love the game of football. 1,000%.
Absolutely true. Listen, speaking of that game we all love, and the reason that this podcast exists, it's the NFL, baby. And today was the trading deadline. Now, listen, most active trade deadline in the last 30 years, as that graphic says right up there. But, I mean, listen, you can't even talk about the trade deadline without some trades that happened even before. Because, I mean, this was the most active one in one day. And I will say it was very active. I do not remember. Like, I'll say this about the NFL. They're good at literally everything besides the trade deadline. The MLB trade deadline, to me, best one. I mean, you see very, very good players every single year traded because they're on teams that just aren't very good. You got teams that are thinking they can go win a World Series. They need a player. They think they're one piece away. You go and get them, whatever. Baseball players get traded like crazy. NBA is decent, right, CJ? You would say it's pretty good.
You want to know why?
Yeah, let me hear it.
Because the quarterback's the most valuable position in the NFL, and you can't trade that. And the superstar in the NBA
he's
more likely to be traded because he's less valuable in the terms of what we would look as a quarterback to do in the NFL. If we don't have that quarterback, that team is done. Yeah, if you lose that superstar in the NBA, definitely. But more times than not, teams have superstars.
That's my thing though with the NFL.
Right.
Like, it's not even the fact that because I don't really care if superstars get traded. Like, obviously, it makes it much more interesting.
You need a quarter. You need to find a franchise guy that can move around the pocket, has an arm, can stand in that pocket and be confident enough to throw down the field, knowing that there's a bunch of guys trying to take his head off every single play. You have that. That's a game changer for your entire state. Your entire franchise. We don't say franchise quarterback for no reason. Franchise, city, state, everything.
But I mean, like for the NFL trade line for me, it was always like, and I'm not even talking about quarterbacks. I'm not even really talking about like big superstars because I mean I look at this list and there are some very good players on this list. I will say that superstar. I don't know if I would say that about any of them. I would say very good, but like
good teams is not going to trade their
superstar. The trade deadline for the NFL is usually like, oh, this player. These are all going to get traded. Blah, blah, and then it never happens. Like this trade deadline was actually fun because we heard some people were going to get traded and people actually got traded. Like, I'm not saying that. I don't think, listen, like we said, the NFL will never compete with other trade deadlines because the quarterback is the superstar. And I mean, you're really not ever going to trade, a number one wide receiver away from anybody. So like those things don't happen. Maybe the biggest thing is a pass rusher. If they're just on a terrible team and a really good team needs one. I mean, I love Von Miller last year, Bradley Chubb this year. But at least something happened Like, I feel like the usual NFL trade deadline is like third string cornerback traded to, whatever team for a 6th-round pick. This year was actually fun. I'm looking at my phone. There's trades going down. So, not that the NFL outdid the MLB, not that it's going to outdo the NBA, but I will say this year, the trade deadline was actually more fun. And I mean, you got to go back a couple weeks. McCaffrey traded. Robbie Anderson got traded. So that doesn't even, include, the trade deadline technically, because those happened before the deadline, which was today at 4 Eastern. But let's go down this list and take a look at some of those players that did get traded. And then obviously we'll get into the week that was.
Also not there is Roquan Smith, Raven.
Yes, Raven. What was that, a 2nd and a 5th, I want to say?
I like that move. That's okay. Because listen, I'm not gonna compare him to. I'm not even gonna do it. But listen, he's one of the greatest. Okay, really trade. Falcons are insane. What's going on? What's going on, Green Iron? What's going on, my guy? Yes, sir. Welcome back, brother. The Falcons are insane. Yeah, the talent is still there. I don't know. I guess they just wanted to just move on from.
Yeah, that one was weird.
Talent. He's still one of the greatest. He's still one of the best wide receivers in the NFL when he's on the field. So,
especially to the Jags too, like.
But he made a terrible decision, which led to him not being a player, but it had nothing to do with talent and nothing like that. So,
you know what the funny thing is?
It was a little weird.
You know what got him suspended was obviously the betting thing. You know what team he bet on?
Atlanta.
To beat the Jaguars.
Oh, wow.
He bet on them to beat the Jags. And now he is – talk about a full circle moment. It's amazing how the NFL does these things without even really trying.
Yeah, but, I'm sure. I think they definitely try to do that one for sure. You don't think so?
I think that's
so. That seems
that's the trade package. Maybe nobody else.
Yeah, listen, it's good. It's good for Jacksonville. Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne. No excuses for the brother. No excuses.
Let me tell you
unless
I'm getting real close to saying Lawrence is a bust. By the way,
no. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm getting real close.
Do that, bro.
I'm
not gonna do that. It's way too early. It's way too early. So you call Fields a bust?
He's improved. I haven't seen Lawrence improve.
Oh, okay, bro. All right.
I said I'm close. I'm not there yet.
How? How are you close? Second season. It's the second season. It's his second year in the NFL.
They got him Marvin Jones. They got him Evan Ingram.
Bro, think about that, bro. You're saying he's about to be a bust at his second season?
Do you think Mac's a bust?
He needs to get better, but I don't think he's.
That's all I'm saying. I think he has to get better, or else he's going to be a bust.
Man, he just needs to get better, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
A lot of fumble issues. Doesn't take care of the football very well.
Listen, man, I'm with you, bro.
But we'll
find out. I'm not gonna call him that yet. There's still a lot of time. He has an opportunity. He could wake up one day and get it. You feel me? Just think about that. That never happened to you. You just woke up one day and you just got it, and you just got to it.
Of course. Listen, I didn't say
so that can happen to anybody. You feel me?
I didn't say bust right now. He's trending. It's not beautiful right now. Certainly not the savior that everybody said coming out of college. How lofty expectations to try and have that?
That's
lofty expectations.
But we should know by now that's just common sports hyperbole during that time of the season. Come on, everybody gets hyped up so more people can watch it. Come on, it's just marketing. That's all it is. Just marketing.
Stupid man. Charger always falls out of the wall every time I need to grab it to charge this laptop. I swear, it's like clockwork.
Okay. Yeah, Broncos trading Bradley Chubb is a little weird to me because I'm like, if they want to be a contender, why would they trade one of the most valuable pieces you need to be a contender, which is an edge rusher? So I'm not sure. Maybe that's a pay thing, but then again, they said the owners of the Broncos have own Walmart, or the co-founders of Walmart. So I can't see that being a money issue, right? So I'm not sure what happened here.
Maybe they don't think they're a contender, CJ. Maybe we might have gotten it wrong.
You don't think they're a contender, but you just gave Russell Wilson 5 over 240?
Does it look like a contender though?
But you're giving Russell Wilson a former champion,
I understand, but 14.2 points per game says
Yeah, I didn't really understand this trade, to be honest. And then you trade him to an AFC, and then listen, the Dolphins, they're trying to get to it. I respect it.
Dolphins had a lot of
Chris,
moves today.
I believe his name is Chris Greer, GM. He's
Yeah.
getting to it. He's getting to it right now. He feels like the team is right here. They got Tua healthy. They see, look, when Tua's out there, they win, and they win. He's done a great job so far. He's done an excellent job. We're gonna get to that game as well, but now you're adding a pass rusher, and he's going to the AFC East. Yeah, man.
Did you see
that's already
what the
talented,
Dolphins did with all three
great pickup.
first-round picks from the Trey Lance trade?
So what the Dolphins did, yeah, they were just sending them around, to the 49ers, to the Broncos.
So one of the first-round picks that they got from the 49ers in the Trey Lance trade, because the Dolphins had the draft spot that they wanted, they turned that. One of the draft picks was used in the Hill trade. One of the draft picks was used on Waddle, and the other draft pick was used on Chubb. So they basically turned in Trey Lance. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like it was one singular first for Tyreek and one single and whatever. But you basically turned whatever pick you had into Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Bradley Chubb. I mean, you want to talk about finessing the system and GM of the year kind of stuff. If the Dolphins do something,
GM of the year, got to keep winning games.
True. Him and Howie Roseman, though. Let me tell you something.
Howie Roseman's the front runner. I mean, you got to look at John Lynch as well, getting McCaffrey. We're going to get into that too.
Oh, my God. Is he an
special football player when healthy. Absolutely special. Chase Claypool going to the Bears. I like this move. And again, this is what we talked about over the last couple of weeks when I talked about the Bears and what they needed to do for Justin Fields in order for him to improve. And I think this is a good job so far. This is a nice step. I think Chase Claypool has a lot of talent. He's very talented. We've seen him make some lot of flash plays, put up some good numbers in this league, make some big plays in this league. So if he could develop a really nice chemistry with Justin Fields, I think they can have something special there. I believe Chase Claypool went to Ohio State, correct?
CJ, you would know better than me.
I believe so. And I believe Justin Fields also went to Ohio State. So that's a really good connection right there. Buckeyes, I think that's really smart by this team, and they're going to do well.
I mean, yeah, and we've talked about them needing a wide receiver, obviously, for the past couple of weeks. But I mean, honestly, the past year, I mean, you just look at their wide receivers. Demir Bird, and that's not even their best receiver. Why can't I think of his name right now? I know Byron Pringle's there. I think Darnell Mooney. There we go. Darnell Mooney leading the way. So hey, people are high on Mooney. I know that speaking fantasy wise, at least. A lot of people were in on him, and he is a pretty solid football player. But when you're the literal only person that can probably catch a pass on that team, you're going to get a lot of looks. Now Claypool comes over. Do I think Claypool's a number one wide receiver? No, but I think he's a solid 2. So if you pair that up with Mooney, I don't know if Mooney's really number 1 either, but you have at least 2 solid 2s. 2 solid 2s is better than no 1. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
So I would take 2 solid number 2 wide receivers over having, N'Keal Harry, which is what they were trying to do before.
Listen. It didn't work out in New England. Room for that brother. Anywhere he goes, man. Just wants the people to be successful. Like I said, didn't work out in New England. If it works out in Chicago, that'd be a great story. He could fall right into that number 3 role right there, right now. It could be Claypool, Harry, and Mooney. You got a mixture. You got a combination of 3 different styles of wide receiver. You got the speed up the field, got the possession, and you got Claypool that kind of can do both at times. So run the football. David Montgomery, Herbert.
Bro, Herbert's so much better, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Herbert's got to be the starter.
He's fresher. Remember, David Montgomery's been in the league a couple of years now. So, he's been taking some hits. So, he's fresher right now. And obviously, if you're fresher, you're going to produce more. So, that's why he's playing well. Kudos to him. He's getting on the field, getting an opportunity to live out his dreams.
This one kind of kicked it off of the trade deadline today. TJ Hawkinson going from the Lions to the Vikings. Listen, I think we all, after watching Hard Knocks, wanted the Lions to be very successful. And it's just not trending that way. They are 1-6 right now. They're not looking very good. They blew, I believe it was at 14-0 at one point, and I think it was 21-7. So a couple 14-point leads to the Dolphins this past week, another loss. listen, you got to try and improve somewhere. Hawkinson is pretty valuable, not only in the pass game, but he is one of those wide receivers, one of those tight ends that'll block for you in the run game. I mean, you got Dalvin Cook over there. You pair that up with Justin Jefferson. Kirk's having a pretty good year. Adam Thielen is still there, obviously. Vikings are a threat. Like, that is a real threat. Now, you got to see how Kirk Cousins can actually play in a primetime game, because if you remember, the one loss they have, granted, is against the 7-0 Eagles, but it wasn't primetime, and, Kirk Cousins threw 2 interceptions to, Darius Slay. But I like this trade for the Vikings. I mean, we all kind of, I think people underrate the tight end position slightly. Everybody is in love with the wide receiver. A really good running back is cool. Everybody obviously loves the quarterback for obvious reasons. But, I mean, we saw all those years with Gronk, and obviously TJ Hawkins is not Gronk. Nobody is. But the ability to go and catch the ball and being bigger than linebackers and faster than them and bigger than corners, whatever. And then having the ability to get in the trenches, help in the run game. So now maybe instead of having to bring in that extra lineman, you can leave your tight end out there so you can do those play actions where, if you have the extra lineman out there, they probably know it's going to be the run. Yeah, you can still do the play action, have the 2 wide receivers go out, do whatever. But you can keep your tight end out there now. You can probably, play off the play action more. A big threat over the middle. Probably get some looks off of Justin Jefferson because, yeah, Adam Thielen's cool. Irv Smith, whatever. But Hawkinson is a name, and he's a pretty solid talent. So, you got to look out for him now. Probably opens up more opportunities for Jefferson. I like this move. I really do.
For the Lions, it really doesn't matter who they have because until they get their franchise quarterback, it's kind of just going to be this right now. Like you said, there was some games in those losses where they had opportunities to get W's. And if you have that guy at the quarterback position, they keep the ball in their hands for the team and you get that W and you win that game. When you don't have that guy, you have those type of losses. And that's why the Lions are where they are right now. They've had bad defenses and the offenses play well here and there, but you still need that guy when it's all said and done. They send them to a rival, division rival. Interesting.
I think it's the first inter-divisional trade the Lions have made since like the 60s.
Wow. Okay. Nice stat, bro. Good stat.
The owner of the Lions, of course, Campbell, sucks to see his job get tougher. Nice pickup for the Vikings. I want the Lions to succeed only because of Campbell, and I think that's why a lot of people do, because he was fun on Hard Knocks. His introductory press conference of biting kneecaps and everything like that was fun. But I just think it would be nice for the NFL, man. Like, it's a very supportive city. It's an historic town. Barry was there. It
would be great.
Nice, but they just can't do it.
Yeah, listen, they have an opportunity to get draft guys and hire people just like every other team. So they just have to get it together. Once I don't know if they just brought in this new regime a couple of years ago. So you got to give them some time. So far, they've had some talent. But again, it just goes back to what I just said. You need a franchise guy under center. That's what it boils down to. For the Vikings, absolutely no excuses for Kirk Cousins. Starts today. They're playing well. They're 6-1. They deserve credit. They're running the football. They're doing a good balance of passing, running, play action. He's doing a good job managing the game, not turning the ball over. But now, okay, you add a tight end with a lot of talent that can block as well, so he fits well into your run scheme originally and what you want to do. And off the play action, he's very talented. He's also a red zone threat. He's somebody you have to worry about in the red zone. It's no excuses for Kirk Cousins. So in these primetime games coming up, I mean, listen, they have the record to where a couple more wins, and they're gonna be in the primetime game. Some way, somehow, they're gonna be in.
I think they play us in a primetime game.
That might be a primetime game. I have to check.
Pretty sure it is. I'm like 95% sure it is.
But they're a talented team on both ends. Kevin O'Connell's done a hell of a job. You got to put him in that Coach of the Year candidacy as well. He's done a really good job with this Minnesota team. Sometimes when you get a head coach, after losing a head coach that first year, you don't know what it's going to be like. And right now, it's really working well for them. They just mesh offensively. So if they can keep it up, that's great.
Yeah, NBC. It's I think that's
Sunday Night
Thanksgiving,
Football?
right?
Oh, that's perfect. That's
Thanksgiving,
perfect.
Pats Vikings in Minnesota.
Okay. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see that. So yeah, good for the Vikings. Good for the Vikings. And now let's see what they do now in terms of winning their division, which is they're definitely looking like that's going to be the probability for them as the Packers continue to struggle.
Struggle.
Yes.
We talked about Calvin Ridley already. Chase Edmonds, another one. He goes from the Dolphins to the Broncos. Was that part of the Chubb trade, or was that a separate one?
Yeah, I believe
it
so.
was a part of it?
Yep.
Okay. But then the Dolphins come right back. They say, yeah, Edmonds is out of here. But guess what? Jeff Wilson Jr., welcome to the team. So they go and get him from the 49ers. Obviously, 49ers, not much need for him anymore with McCaffrey coming in there. We saw what McCaffrey did this weekend. So Jeff Wilson Jr. was probably not going to get too much playing time if McCaffrey's going to play like that. Slight worries, McCaffrey's injury troubles of the past couple of years. So, having a nice backup would be pretty cool. But I don't know if Elijah Mitchell is on IR for the rest of the season or if it's just, maybe he can return later on. I am not exactly sure on that one. So we'll figure that out, though. And I like this for the Dolphins. I mean, Jeff Wilson looked pretty good in with the 49ers. And, I mean, guess what? You know who the Dolphins play like? The 49ers. So this could be a very easy transition for him, going from Shanahan to McDaniels. And I don't expect him, to have too much trouble at all, honestly.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel was the run game coordinator for the 49ers, so he knew all the running backs. So, of course, he has a relationship with Jeff Wilson. It's easy. It should be a seamless transition for Jeff Wilson Jr. And if he could definitely create an opportunity where he could get it back, if he plays well, create an opportunity for him to get some, continue to make generational money. With this opportunity for sure. Colts trading Naheem Hines to Buffalo. Buffalo, they needed a running back with some change of pace, some consistency. I think that's a good move. And then they ended up they pretty much just swapped for running backs.
Yeah.
Zach Moss wasn't really doing so much for them. But Hines, they feel like it come in now, kind of be a third down back, kind of mixing things up at times as well. So.
Yeah, I like this move. Change of pace, nice receiving back. They don't really have that. I think they're kind of using James Cook in that receiving back a little bit, but a true receiving back they didn't really have. So Hines is good there. And then, like you said, Zach Moss wasn't really doing anything with the Bills. So you trade him over to the Colts, have a nice backup for Jonathan Taylor, who's honestly struggled this season, not only on the field, but I think he's been hurt a few times this season. Coming off of a huge workload last year, maybe he's finally taking the toll on him now. But you get not the same caliber, obviously, but you get somebody who can be a backup for him. And honestly, I don't know. The rest of these names don't really ring the bell for me, if I'm being honest with you.
And you know what? And those be the guys that ended up producing when you least expect. Like, remember when they traded for that guy back in week 8? So listen, Jacob Martin, Rashad Fenton, Dean Marlowe, Will Jackson III. Hey, another opportunity to create for yourself.
You are absolutely. Well, those were all the trades that we had for today. Now, obviously, everybody knows what's next. We got to go. We got to break down Week 8 of the NFL, all the wonderful things that happened. Huge week for a lot of players. Like, this was one of those weeks where, we're so used to the quarterback doing literally everything. But, I mean, we're going to go through some of these games, and the players went crazy this week. Went absolutely crazy. And when we get to those games, we'll make sure to talk about it. But we'll start Thursday night. The Ravens went and visited the Bucs. Ravens came out on top again, 27-22. Listen, it's just been a struggle for the Bucs. Obviously, we know what happened with Brady and, Giselle. Not really getting into that. That's personal life, whatever. Could be affecting the football, obviously. Your mind's probably not in the game 100% when you're finalizing divorce papers. So now that it's over, I mean, maybe do things improve, but I honestly like Brady hasn't played to his level, but I don't think he's playing awful. I think the team is really struggling. They literally cannot run the ball. It is not possible for them to run the football. So I think maybe the Bucs are one of those teams I'm a little surprised didn't try and do anything on the offensive line. Maybe try and shore up some pieces. Obviously, they're hoping to get Jensen back eventually, but the first drive for the Bucs looked absolutely fantastic. They looked absolutely great. They go down, they score a touchdown, I believe it was, and then from then on out, it was kind of a struggle. They had some missed opportunities in the red zone, especially on, I believe, the last drive where they had to settle for a field goal, and then they would have had to get the onside kick or whatever. But I think they had like 2 or 3 penalties in the red zone on that drive, so that obviously hurt them very much. Nice win for the Ravens. Obviously, you want to get on track, and you start exercising some of those demons of they have the lead in the second half, or they have the lead in the fourth quarter, and then is it, oh God, are we going to do this again and blow another lead? And you don't, so you start exercising those demons where instead of being, oh no, are we going to do this again? It's, oh, we got this. You want to get those thoughts out of your head, because then that obviously can sneak into your play on the field. But a nice win for the Ravens, and I think Bateman came out of this game a little hurt. He's going to be out for a few weeks. They got Andrews involved very, very early, and then he went out with a shoulder injury. I'm not wrong in this one. And then the backup tight end went crazy, right? I think he has 2 touchdowns or something like that.
Likely.
Isaiah
Likely. Yeah. Talented kid. Nice touchdown in the back of the end zone. That was a good play. It made a really good play.
The man became a meme instantly. How many beers are you going to have this weekend? Likely 80. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, if he's smart, continue to just play well, he can market himself. Do a really good job with that easily. So, just keep playing well. See what happens. He's a rookie, right? Rookie guy, rookie season?
I'm not.
I think he's a rookie, yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that Brady and Belichick could benefit from each other right now. Just proof that it took both of them to win the rings.
I mean, salute to you, Gridiron. 50-50. That's what I try to tell everybody. 50-50. If you know ball, you know it's 50-50 deep down in your heart. Somebody has to game plan for the game in order for the players to execute it on the field. That's all I got to say. That's it. That ends the discussion. That ends the discussion right there. That automatically makes it 50-50 just on that statement alone. Nobody can debate that statement. And Bill did it the best. 325 wins.
Just past George House. He made a nice speech in the locker room talking about the players deserve it.
Always been a player's coach. People trying to hate. Always been a player's coach.
No fun Bill though. The one thing I really love about Halloween is the fact that every Halloween that video of Randy Moss going into Bill's office asking him to come to the Halloween party pops back up on my timeline. I love that video.
That's the football like Bill Belichick 2009 part 1 and part 2. Yeah.
Ah, man, what a video!
Shout out NFL Network.
There was
really some days. I want to say maybe like 2013, 2014, man. Things was rough, and there'd just be times, I'm watching just NFL Network, just learning about the game, learning about fantasy, watching these documentaries about these teams that's winning championships and what it takes to sacrifice.
CJ, you know who we can shout out?
Those are things. What happened? Who's going to shout out?
Amber, NFL Films.
Oh, facts. Yeah, shout out Amber. Word. That's a big time move for her and for them. Big time pickup. Salute.
Amber was great.
But yeah,
Amber.
But facts. But yeah, those times exactly. Like that's how you fall in love with the game. Watching those things, watching those documentaries, seeing the legends. Can't take that stuff for granted, man. So, yeah.
I'm telling you, and it's not the same thing, but it kind of is. Like for all the hate ESPN gets for certain things, their 30 for 30s.
Documentaries are always going to be lit. You can't
incredible.
You can't mess up documentaries because it's based on a true story.
I don't
You know what
know,
I mean?
CJ. Let
On
me tell you
daily, on
something. As
daily,
a
on
film
daily.
student, I've seen some terrible documentaries.
No,
But
no,
I
no, I'm
mean,
not saying they're all good, but I'm saying like if you're trying to really make a good documentary, you can't
oh yeah,
like mess with the mess with all the stories and the
and
real
like the
sports details.
E60s of like telling stories and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's real life stuff. Yeah, that's real
Oh,
life.
great
Yeah,
job doing
yeah.
that.
They need to start doing more of that, but that's not what brings views.
Yeah,
So that's how they operate. They operate on what brings
got to
views.
do or die, do or die. Yeah. I don't know if you had anything else on this game, or we move on.
Nah, man. Listen to Ravens. I like they running Roquan Smith.
I'm excited to see that.
Deshaun Jackson's going to probably take him a week or two to get in shape, to get right before he steps out on the field. Obviously, he's an older guy. It's going to take him a little bit to get right. Deservedly so. He deserves that. He'll get in there eventually. They came back. They fought. They battled through. Gus Edwards looked solid. Lamar, yeah, he looked good. They need this win because they need this win. Even though the Bengals lost, it's going to be a close division. You got to keep stacking the W's. You can't worry about the other teams in the division. You got to keep stacking those W's. And we know their record should be better than what it is, but at the end of the day, they didn't execute. So they need to continue to execute, keep that consistently going forward for Lamar. I want Lamar to get every dime, man. I don't want people coming out here saying, "Oh, he throughout the season he folded leads and he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. He's not a clutch quarterback. I'm not going to play a guy." They're going to start bringing up those type of narratives if those things start to happen in these type of games. So I want him to stay consistent, get right, continue to learn, continue to grow with his team, and continue to stack them W's. Because I want him to get every single penny.
For sure. You got to love seeing the people get money. What's wrong with people getting money? Nothing. The London game that I was asleep for the first half at least. CJ, I have to admit, this is the least amount of football I've watched in a long time. My brother called me the night before. They bought a nice little house. Him and his wife. They were redoing the kitchen.
Congratulations.
Redoing the kitchen. So had to ask me to come over, help out. Not that I'm handy. I did a lot of standing. Because, well, listen, the countertop was supposed to be delivered to the house. Countertop never came. So we hung some cabinets, some counters and things like that, or whatever. Put them in place. Put the fridge in place. Some things like that. But I got there 11:30. Oh, this won't take too long. Well, I left at about 5:30. So I missed a lot of the 1 o'clocks. I had my phone up on the fridge, staring at it nicely, and caught the half end of the 4:30 games, and then the Sunday night game I watched until the third quarter midway through, and then I don't know if you saw my tweets. I'm sure you did because I'm annoying. I finished Game of Thrones. I was all in on the Game of Thrones.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I watched it in 1 week.
Wow, yeah, he was committed.
Bro,
yeah.
Literally would wake up, watch until I went to sleep. I didn't have school, nothing. So I was just,
this is on it.
I was going. Did you watch it?
I was never
really seen it.
I've seen episodes. I've sat down and seen episodes, but I'll just go right back to.
I'm a fan. I am a fan. If you're ever bored, feel free. But yeah, so I didn't see too much, but I did see, some of the second half of this game. Listen, 9:30 is way too early. ESPN Plus, so that's very interesting as well.
Switching it up. Some people, NFL Network get it. I think Fox will probably get it next. I'm hearing Amazon also trying to get some games.
Amazon has all the Thursday games.
Amazon and I heard Apple might try to get into something too.
When do you think we have the first game on social media?
I mean, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but that's not a social media. You know what I mean? Like
Amazon,
I'm talking.
Amazon
you think
Prime
we ever have a
video,
game on
Amazon
Twitter?
Prime Video.
You think we ever have a game on Twitter?
I mean, yeah, like they'll have like the people. They'll have like a group of analysts.
No. I mean main broadcast Twitter.
Main broadcast. I mean, I feel like it's just no need because cable is more people is going to watch it on cable on TV. So
that's true. That's true. But then you look at Amazon Prime. They took it away from cable and put it on Amazon.
Yeah, but that's just one day. Like they would never take Amazon off of. They would never take Sunday.
No. I don't mean like. I mean like a Thursday game or like a
Thursday is good to take it because nobody's really like. So I mean, we'll see what their numbers look like at the end of the year. Like I don't know what it looks. I don't think the ratings are that great.
I know the first week I thought they did pretty well, but
the play has never been phenomenal because again, these guys are just coming from Sunday to playing on Thursday. That's not enough time to recover and get right.
It also doesn't help that they give us some terrible matchups. Like who?
Yeah,
I
mean,
but
it's terrible. But you say it's on paper it doesn't terrible, but it would be better if they were actually like fully recovered. They're really like 50%, and they're going out there playing 50%. So now, you get the 10 days to recover after, which is good. Nickelodeon got a playoff game last year. It was a train wreck of fun. Yeah, the
Nickelodeon was the alternate broadcast though. Nickelodeon was like the it was like, they would slime, it would go up and they had like kids commentating it because they're trying to get kids involved.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Really understand like what kids aren't involved. I feel like
I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool.
I think it's cool, but like
you want to make sure the younger generation still, develops a love for the game because you want to keep the sport going. You don't want to start losing kids. And if you start losing kids, that's when you lose your sport because kids turn into adults. And adults, and if you get the right adults to play your game, you continue to add money to your product. So you want to make sure you love the kids as much as possible. So it's all about money, man. That's how it is.
Absolutely. But yeah, Broncos 21-17 over the Jags. That was in London. I know that Russ let a game-winning drive down. I think the Jags had a little bit of time; they couldn't do it on the comeback, but. Yeah, like we just talked about, they traded away Bradley Chubb, though, so you kind of wonder what direction this team thinks itself is going in. I just think that it's weird because, like, I think in their heads they don't think that they can compete because they see what the offense has done so far, and like even the wins they've had have been absolute slugfests, and it's been very, very hard for them to get. So. But the thing is, they've gotten those wins on defense. So, trading away your pass rusher, bold strategy. But I don't know. Things just have to improve. Obviously, Russell Wilson continues to become a meme, doing high knees down the plane while everybody was sleeping so he could try and get prepared. It's incredible. But Broncos win this one, a much needed win. Obviously, they want to keep, track on the playoffs or if they want to, have those dreams of winning the division, which I think are gone because the Chiefs, are obviously a unit. But, a nice win for the Broncos. Jags with another loss, typical. But, hey, we'll find out what both these teams turned into.
Good win for the Broncos. They need as many wins as possible. Raiders look like they're trending downward. Chargers had a bye, so we'll see how they respond this week coming up. Chiefs are obviously playing at the top of the game, so Broncos, they need to look at this like we need to start stringing along some wins and start gaining some confidence as we approach the second half of the season. It's 2 halves in the season, and you want more times than not the second half of the season to be your best football, and more time. And then when that occurs, that's when you develop a really good football team, and you could possibly punch your ticket into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the Broncos, they need to think about that as they continue to start playing these games. We got an NFC South matchup: Panthers, Falcons. This is a game of the year candidate.
Unbelievable.
You would have never thought. Falcons were up, had a big lead, and then the Panthers came back, and DJ Moore scored the touchdown. PJ Walker, beautiful pass, rolling left. Beautiful pass to DJ Moore. DJ Moore catches it.
Most air yards on a pass since they've started tracking it.
Incredible stat. Passes it, and then it was beautiful. And then what happens? He takes his helmet off, and I was just like, and then the refs. I feel like the refs shouldn't have threw the flag in that moment. It's a big time moment in the game for you to throw the flag like that and change the game.
And it's a Hail Mary.
Make it about you, and make it about the flag that you threw. when it should have been more about the touchdown. And of course, people going. I mean, listen, to the point where people say, "Listen, he shouldn't have took his helmet off." I get that. He shouldn't. He knows the rules. You know the rules, but it was so. I mean, it's like, but that's like, I forgot who somebody said it. He was like, that's like one of the biggest plays of his life. So I mean, he could have reacted any other way, but all he did was take his helmet off.
Like all that adrenaline coursing through your veins.
Yeah, he just he could have reacted any type of way, but all he did was just take his helmet off, like, and say, "Let's go," or whatever, be hype. But that's the rules for the NFL, and I said little things like that where these guys they get. I feel like they could finesse and negotiate with the NFL to get that expunged in the CBA in terms of rules. Makes no sense.
Yeah,
you want me to market myself while working for you, right? So I can add more money to myself and your product. All right, so let me show my face.
And that's the thing too. Like, I don't know what half of these players look like. I'm not even like.
I made one of the biggest plays in my life. I want the world to see me. Made one of the biggest plays of the year. I want the world to see me.
Like some players take their helmet off, and I'm like, oh damn, that's what they look like. Like I'm like, how long has Tyler Lockett been in the league? Tyler Lockett's been in the league forever. It feels like. I feel like I have
almost 10 years.
They showed him on the sideline after he caught a touchdown pass in that Giant game. I was like, damn, that's what Tyler Lockett looks like. Like he's been in the league forever, and like it still doesn't connect in my head. Like the quarterbacks, but you don't know everybody else. And like the people you do know is because they're very good. You know Chase, the star players, and DJ Moore is very, very good. But I certainly wouldn't say a star or anything, and that might not be his fault. Look at who's played with that quarterback, obviously.
Yes, but they got a lot of fight. They got a lot of fight with that team. They traded McCaffrey. They was talking about trading Brian Burns. It didn't happen.
You want to talk about stepping up in place though? Deontay Foreman, 26 carries, 118 yards.
I had Deontay Foreman in a fantasy league last year, and I let him go, man.
You know what?
Nobody saw it. I didn't see this.
I was going to say, you can't even blame yourself.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I mean, hey, I picked him up off waivers this week.
I saw him. I remember, but I do remember watching him at Texas, and I thought I felt like the way he ran the football in Texas, it would translate. And he has moments where he does have really good games, but he just can't string along a bunch of great games together to really put himself in that conversation with one of the top backs in the league. If he could do that, you got a hell of a player. But we'll see. But Falcons, they came back. Then the Falcons, their guy missed the field goal. It was so bad.
Because let's see.
So bad.
So the Panthers, technically, they're down. Then they get a stop. The Falcons kick a field goal, puts them up by 6. They score that touchdown. They missed the extra point because now it was like a 44-yard field goal or 44-yard extra point, technically. They go into overtime. Panthers miss a field goal. And then no. So I think the Panthers got to stop. They missed. They do something. Well, no, because Mariota threw that interception. He throws the interception to Anderson or whatever. He returned it to like the 24, and then they missed the 33-yard field goal. And then the Falcons come back down. Mariota ripped off like a 30-yard run, I think it was, put them in the field goal range, which I was almost a little surprised because I understand kicking the field goal on third down because, like, obviously if you bobble snap, you fall on it, you have fourth down, you can kick it again. But they kicked it on, and obviously it worked out. So, I mean, second guessing it is useless anyway. But they did kick that field goal on fourth down when it was like a 44-yard field goal. When on third down, I'm like, I'm kind of surprised we're not just, even a QB sneak, a fullback dive, try and gain extra 2-3 yards. I mean, if anything, you miss. If it gets blown up, you probably lose a yard. But I'm a little surprised they did that. Hey, it doesn't really matter what happened anyway. So good win for the Falcons. First place Atlanta Falcons, as everybody thought going into the season. Everybody thought going into the season, the battle for first place in the NFC South would be the Panthers and the Falcons in Week 8. It's just simply unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah, but great game. Great game, DJ Moore. Man, I know that it would have been a tip of the cap with that touchdown with the dub. But
did you see the meme? That was like DJ Moore's so smart that he padded his stats and made sure he's going to have Bryce Young throwing him the football next year. I was like, you know what? You people, the internet always wins. Internet always wins.
Hooker from Tennessee. Watch out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Maybe we'll get him.
Nah, probably. I'm telling you, we're not. We're not, bro. All right, we got the Bears and the Cowboys. This is Dak's second game back from the hand injury. Much better game. Zeke was out with the knee issue that he's dealing with. He'll be back soon. It was a big lead for the Cowboys early. Then the Bears started to come back. They showed some fight, made some really big plays down the field. Justin Fields guys going. Defense really started to make some plays. And then it really, spiraled out of control after that fumble that Michael Parsons picked up. But Justin Fields jumped over him and never touched him. So Michael Parsons got up and scored. And then after that, Dallas really got back on track and never gave up the lead. And just ran away with the lead.
Big
Tony
game.
Pollard. Yeah, exactly. Tony Pollard had a hat trick.
14 for 131 and 3 touchdowns.
Big game for him. He's
9.4 yards per carry.
He's gonna get it back. Man. He's gonna get paid. Salute to him. Man.
Don't you think they should start him?
I said there's nothing wrong with committee. You got to keep guys fresh. You keep guys fresh. Remember, he's fresh. He's significantly fresher than Zeke.
No, absolutely.
But
I mean, you can still have a committee, but
let's not forget the amount of touches Zeke had early in his career, like 420 something touches.
Exactly.
Like first year. Crazy.
You talk about committee. You can still have a committee with Zeke as the backup, though.
Yeah, they kind of just, they just go 1-2 punch. That's it. I mean, it's not really a backup. Who's a starter? They just go together. You can put them out there together at times because Pollard could catch the football. So can Zeke.
Yeah, he can.
And he can block. He
might be the best run blocking
he's up there.
Pass blocking running back in the league.
He's up there. He's definitely up there for sure. I mean, that's been one of his calling cards for sure. Mike Parsons might be the most exciting person to watch in all of NFL right now.
See, let me ask you this.
Let
me ask you this, CJ.
I'm not going to disagree. I have some other guys that I like too, but he's definitely in that discussion for me as well. So I agree. Great point.
You and Gridiron. No, I don't think. Listen, Allen has been very good. Mahomes has been very good. Hurts has been very good. But I mean, I feel like no quarterback has has gone crazy to the point of it's an absolute runaway MVP. You think this is the year somebody other than a quarterback can win an MVP? What if Parsons has 21 sacks? A couple fumble recoveries. He already has the touchdown. Maybe he scores a couple more touchdowns, whatever. You think it's possible?
Yeah, he'd have to have a historic defensive season. I mean, it's sad that that's the only way these guys, other than the quarterback, can win the award, is if they had to have one of the most historic seasons of all time. Truthfully, when these guys the quarterbacks win MVP, their seasons are historic as well. But that doesn't mean they're not the only players that can have historic seasons within a season. So I think they need to mix it up for sure. The NBA mixes it up. I think they need to mix it up. Giving it to a quarterback every single year, it's like that quarterback still needs an O-line, receivers. So
that's why I thought there needs to be more love last year.
I think there needs to be some parity in that MVP discussion.
I would say no, since TJ didn't get it last year. Yeah, I mean that's fair because what did he break the sack record, or he tied it?
He tied it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I wonder if Parsons broke the sack record for a season, scored 6 touchdowns, something like that.
J.J. Watt did something like that and still didn't get MVP.
Yeah.
Remember 2011 and 2014?
No, J.J. Watt was a problem. That
he was coming out at tight end too.
You just talked about LT.
Tight end.
I know, at fullback. You were talking about LaDainian Tomlinson before. Listen, we look at J.J. Watt and the Cardinals right now, and people are probably like, "Oh my gosh, what J.J. Watt?" if you know anything about football, those prime JJ Watt years were unbelievable. He was getting 3 sacks a game like he was going up against little children at the offensive line position. Little children. It looked like he was going up against.
Yeah, I thought he was going to pass Bruce Smith's sack record, and he was on pace to do all of that stuff. And obviously, the injuries came into play, unfortunately. But Klay Thompson for 3. Draymond rebound. That's tough.
Did the Nets win?
No.
They lost?
Yes. By like 13. Sheesh.
13? They were winning by like 10.
Tony Pollard is going to get a bag. Salute to that brother. Man. Good win. Now I want to see what Claypool does with the Bears. That's a nice little pickup. Cole Kmet as well at the tight end position. Good game. Dolphins and the Lions.
Same.
This is what I have.
Lions.
Same old Lions, but I really want to focus this on the Dolphins right here.
Okay.
They have. I respect the way they're going about their team right now, their franchise. Everything happened with the Brian Flores situation. It happened. Wipe your hands with it. Move on. What do we do?
And the Brady thing too.
Brady's right. Exactly. The suspension, Brady situation. Cool. What do we do? Tyreek Hill. Everybody's like, what? Dolphins? Tyreek Hill? Dolphins? That's not gonna help them.
Remember
this was the narrative. Oh, Tyreek Hill just going to Dolphins. He's not gonna help them go anywhere.
Tua can't throw it like Mahomes.
Everybody over analyzing his throws.
I was just about to say, training camp, he underthrowing, he underthrew a ball and it was
over analyzing his throws. Everybody underthrows.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
I think the Dolphins are 5-0 with Tua as a starter this season.
I never understood the Tua hate. I really didn't get it. It's not like he came out and said, it's not like he never did anything, or he just played football and that's it.
I didn't know how I felt about Tua only because of injuries. I was always concerned about injuries.
I think people look at him and I think people don't like him or have something always negative to say because he's the third best quarterback in that class behind Herbert and Burrow. And he went ahead of Herbert. So since he went ahead of Herbert, people got some things to say. But when he was in college, nobody had anything to say. He was one of the best. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, in the nation, in college football. No doubt about it. Took Jalen Hurts' spot. Remember, this Jalen Hurts' spot. Took Jalen Hurts' spot and threw the game-winning touchdown to Devontae Smith as a freshman. They were both freshmen.
Was that against Georgia, right?
It was against Georgia, yes. It was against Georgia. I remember that.
Overtime.
That day watching that game. He got sacked. It was like 3rd and 20.
Yeah, it was overtime, right?
And then do a touchdown right after ball game to Devontae Smith. That up the middle on the left side. Classic play. That's a classic college football play. You don't know that play? I don't know if you know ball. But yeah.
CJ taking away the card from people.
You got to know ball out here. This is the hard count. So they have just dynamic weapons. And Tyreek Hill is one of the most special football players I've ever seen. He's in that category when I just talked about LaDainian Tomlinson, when I talked about with Michael Vick, Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald, sometimes he could get up even at his height and get some footballs.
He's got hops.
Yeah, he's got supreme hops. He's a special player. He's a special player, man. And 12 receptions, a $188
casually too. Like
people doubted him. They said he wouldn't.
Like I read they said that, he wouldn't be anything. Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, they said he wouldn't be anything without Patrick Mahomes. 12 receptions for a $188.
Let me tell you something.
I told people it wasn't going to matter because he's going to get the yak. I told people. And Tua, and one thing Tua does have is accuracy. He's going to put the ball in, so that's perfect. That's all you need for speedy guys is accuracy.
Yep.
And that's all he played with at Alabama was fast guys. It's the same thing. It's Alabama for him. If you think about it, they had speed when he was there. They had Devontae Smith, they had Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy. Unfortunately, Ruggs. What happened? You feel me? Ruggs was there. They had weapons. They had a lot of weapons out. They had a bunch of fast guys on that team. Jalen Waddle was there. Young Jalen Waddle, young Devontae Smith, young John. They had all these young guys.
CJ, you want to hear his year so far?
Let's hear it.
So he had
That's 3 games.
He's had 94, 190, and 2 touchdowns in that game. Then he's, against the Bills only had 33. Bounced back to Cincinnati with 160. 47 against the Jets. Bounced back with 177. Had a, casual 72 and 7 catches against Pittsburgh. And then technically for him, bounced back for 188 and 12 catches this week.
Like I said, it's one of the most special players we've ever seen. The speed, the strength, the athleticism, the vertical. He's an elite football player.
It's
and
they're going for it. Like you don't trade for Chubb for no reason. I think
trade for Chubb. Yeah, the pass. I said it. I said it at the top of the show. I said a pass rusher is one of the most quintessential pieces in terms of building a championship team. You need a guy, a stable, consistent guy that's going to get to that opposing team's quarterback every single Sunday, Thursday, or Monday, every single time. And you need that. And they just went out and got that. They got one of the best. They plan on paying him, my guess. Again, Tua is still on his rookie deal, so they can pay him. Mm-hmm. This is all very strategic and very smart by Chris Greer, doing a phenomenal job. Salute to him and building this franchise, trying to get them back to a winning prowess. And again, no excuses for Tua. Everything's at disposal. Gesicki's playing well now, getting some touchdowns, dancing, doing things like that. So this is a good win for the Dolphins, and they really position themselves as going to be the second best team in that division for at least for right now.
Second
for
best.
Sure. I mean, listen, we got
the Bills are a unit.
Well, we have cap space next year, man. This is something people are not really talking about. We have a lot of cap
million,
space,
I believe.
Like I said, we chill. I said I'm just chilling this year. I'm just chilling, man. I'm just chilling this year when it comes to New England. But we got the Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings continue to stay on their winning ways, 34-26. D-Hop is incredible. Well, just one of the most special.
Most receiving yards in the league since he came back.
I mean, we go from the hill to D-Hop is just one of the most special wide receivers I've ever seen. What he was doing in Houston, scrubs throwing him the football. I mean,
Brock Osweiler,
savage. I mean, listen, get your money, but y'all know what time it was back then. So, and he was just getting a buck. He was getting 85 and a buck, seven plus every year. And then obviously, they got Deshaun and they did what they did. So Vikings, they're playing well. They're playing good football. Dalvin Cook had to go on again. They got you mentioned the names. Now they have TJ Hawkinson. Also, don't forget KJ Osborne as well. Really solid number 3 wide receiver for them. He's making some really good plays here as of late. Look like he's developed some solid chemistry with Kirk Cousins. So watch out for that name also. And KJ Osborne, defense could do some work, could use some work. Cardinals, I mean, they can put up numbers. They can put up numbers, but again, their identity needs to be run heavy. Their identity needs to be power run. If their identity was power run, they'd be a much better football team.
Cardinals killed themselves. They did against Philly. Penalties and miscues. That bad snap was a killer.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't see what happened.
At the end of the day, on the bad snap.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
When you get to those type of miscues, you have to understand one for coaching, and Cliff Kingsbury is continues to struggle.
Got to go. By the way, has to.
And their identity is not correct to me. If you have a guy like Kyler, a shorter quarterback, right? He's short. Some of those passes are going to get tipped because he's short. It's just what it is. How do you combat those things? they need to have 5, the elite of elite offensive linemen. Michael was good, brother. Elite of the elite offensive linemen in front of Kyler. Run that football. Get a bell cow. Run that football.
Play action's your best friend.
Play action. Yeah, bro, they don't even really do that. Think about play action for Kyler, running out, rolling out. Like, they don't even really
They don't do snaps under center.
Like, I mean,
Kyler under center is not a thing.
And this is what I mean. Like, if your identity is power run, you can come out. He could come under center and do different things. Then he could roll out and play action and still be able to use his legs, get square, and throw the ball down the field if need be. So they're just all over the place. There are moments where they look good. They need to move that in the pocket.
Move the pocket for him. I mean, yeah, some rollouts.
That's what I mean. This is what I'm saying. A run game does that.
Listen, and we've had this argument before, not between us, but like people underestimating a run game make no sense to me. Like the run game doesn't equal play action success, and what are you talking about?
I remember that. Yeah.
Like I don't like that.
Corey, man. Shout out Corey.
That doesn't even make sense to me. If you run the ball well, and then you go into a play action, how does that not? Every single time I've seen somebody do a play action and the linebackers bite up, the first thing that happens, is the analyst goes onto the teleprompter, circles all of the linebackers, and says, "This is what happens when you run the football well. The linebackers have to come up and defend, and it opens the middle of the field." Every single time. But the run game doesn't equal play action success. Where? Madden.
Of course it does. We all know this. Maybe there's some stats that show some other things, but I still feel like fundamentally that you're exactly right. At the end of the day, either way you slice it, that's what it's going to be. The linebackers come up, exactly what you said. It opens up passing lanes. It's just common sense. So just common football knowledge. Has nothing to do with stats or anything like that. Just basic. Yeah. So.
Oh, here we go, CJ. I hope this is accurate. This is the 2019 season. Let's see it. So they don't have. All right.
We got Minnesota versus Phoenix on TNT. Wow, what a game.
I thought I found something about shotgun versus under center, but I am not exactly sure how to read this chart. I'm not gonna lie.
So we can come back to it next week.
Well, I mean, technically, this says that last year Arizona ran. See that? No, never mind. We'll move on because it says that they ran 100% of plays out of under center, which is not true. That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So, whatever. We'll figure it out eventually. Maybe I'll be able to read it one of these times.
It's all right. All right. Raiders, Saints. I didn't get to see too much of this one. I did see the Saints made some really good plays defensively. I really don't know what's going on with the Raiders right now. They obviously they don't believe in what Josh McDaniels is telling them in terms of preparation, how they need to win games. Because we look at the talent and it's just not clicking right now. And this is the second act for Josh McDaniels in terms of getting a head coaching gig. And so far it's not looking great. He's obviously gonna get another year to figure it out. But right now, this first year is struggling. They need to figure out what's going wrong now so they can fix it going into next season because I just feel like it's going to be a tough road to try to go win 4 or 5 in a row. They can do it. They have the talent. But do they have the togetherness, coaches included, and getting that done? That's a very difficult task, getting back to 500 every Sunday. That's difficult. It's not an easy thing at all. So, but the Saints, they're trying to just stay along. I don't know when James is coming back.
I don't know if he does come back.
Might not come back. Yeah.
I mean,
might not. Listen, nothing was guaranteed. He signed it he signed the 2 year. It was really a 1 year. So it's not
whoever wins plays.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't guaranteed the starting job for the rest of the season. And that type of stuff. He had to work for that job. So if he gets back healthy, he can go work for that job again, back in practice, and try to get it back. Simple as that. Just like anybody else try to work for their spot. Nothing given, everything earned. So
you don't think it's a?
I know.
You don't think it's a one and done situation for McDaniels, do you?
I don't think so. I think Mark Davis wants some type of wants to make it look like he has some type of structure going on his team. You just got rid of one. You just got rid of one regime, and then you're gonna get rid of another in 2 seasons.
I don't think it happened.
That just looks like you don't know. You really don't know what you're doing.
So I don't think it happens. But like, what if they win 4 games
in a row?
No, like this season, because they're 1-5 right now, or 1-6.
But if they win 4 games in the season, they go 4-13.
Like, you think that's enough to be like, bro? I really brought you in.
I think they get some dubs. They have to. I mean, yeah, that sounds crazy if they go 4-13. I really don't know what you.
No, they're 2-5 right now. My bad. So they're
2-5. Even they have to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have to get some dubs.
But like fantasy world, they go 4-13. Do you think it's one and done? Because at that point, it's like, bro, we just traded for Devontae Adams.
So you have them going.
No. I'm saying
fantasy world, right?
Because I mean, listen, they played.
Yeah, it's a bad look. I don't know if that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Mark Davis is going to fire him after the first year because again, it looks like you don't have any structure with your organization. You just got rid of Gruden last year. Now you're going to get rid of McDaniels the year after you just signed him, and you just signed a new GM, so you can get rid of new GM too. So GM has to pick another new coach after 1 year. That'd be so dysfunctional, and everybody would look at the Raiders like as a laughingstock. So he has to show that at least he has some type of patience.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, I would be disappointed. Even though if I were him, I would be very disappointed. I'm spending all this money for these guys, and they're not producing, and they're getting shut out. Goose egg.
All right, this is one of those stats that I hate.
Alvin Kamara went crazy. Alvin Kamara, they need to start giving him the rock more. Michael Thomas, I don't know what's going on with his health. I think
one catch for 3 yards. 1 catch for 3 yards. That's what Devontae Adams had. And I know that because he was on my fantasy team.
Marshawn Lattimore's a beast, but also it's also on Josh McDaniels to scheme some plays up for Devontae to get him open, not just just having him wherever he has him. You need to mix it up, put him in the slot a little bit, have him in motion to kind of move around, do some choice option routes, so he can kind of get freed up. He can connect with Carr a little bit, and he can kind of get a rhythm throughout the game, as opposed to just having him run route on the outside. That's easy for a corner to stop that. If he's just running the basic routes on the outside, stand on the outside. But if he's moving around, you got to think about what he's going to do. It's more of a chess match. So I don't know. I feel like they need to do that more often. They need to run the football. The offensive line is still a problem. They just haven't been able to figure out that offensive line. They haven't been able to figure out that offensive line for it feels like over a decade now. It's getting kind of sad. So I don't know. So. And they need to figure some things out internally. But credit to the Saints, continue to try to get some dubs and try to make sure they try to stay in this division race. Because right now, if I'm any of these teams in the division, I'm looking like I have an opportunity to win it. Because I mean, we expect Tampa Bay to come back and try to get back to 500 and start to get into a nice little groove in the second half of the season. But that's not a guarantee. So if I'm any of these other teams in the NFC South, I'm looking at I have an opportunity to win that division. They need to capitalize. So good job by the Saints. AFC East showdown. Patriots.
Where's Vic?
Yeah, where's Vic? Yeah, talking crazy. Yeah, I'm sure he's here, chilling. What's good, brother? Patriots, Jets. 13th game we've played against. The 13th game we played against them, and we are 13-0. 13. Let's start with the bad. Bad was the offense.
Typical
offense. Offense didn't look good at all. We created 6 turnovers, I believe, and only created 22 points. Nick Folk looked like our best player at times when it comes to scoring.
He is.
He's our best scorer. Nick Folk is the best scorer on the Patriots, and the offense just looks bad. It looks bad. They just need to get a rhythm going. I'm not sure what the identity of the offense is now when Mac is there. When Zappy was in there, it was run the football, power run. We're gonna, move forward, push people forward, get into the end zone. Oh, play action, cool. Dump it here. Bourne, Myers, Devontae Parker, back shoulder, Henry, Jonnu, Ramondre, Harris. These are again, I keep saying this every week. Not elite, but way better than trash. Better than trash. So he should be dotting these guys up. And right now I'm seeing more INTs than dots. and he needs to clean it up. He needs to clean it up. Listen, the rookie honeymoon phase is done. It's done. Patriot fans, we we give you a pass early. First season, of course, it's rookie season. Welcome to that. And again, I don't want to be overly critical, but I'm just saying, like, he needs to get it together. Like, again, he needs to get it together. We have an opportunity where, first off, should have beat the Bears. That Bears L just might come back and mess us up down the road. But then again, we got some teams that we haven't seen Buffalo yet at all. We got to see Miami one more time, Minnesota. So,
I mean, we just talked about how bad they are. We play the Raiders in Vegas.
Yeah, but then again, that's a McDaniels, Belichick. He might get up for that and want to play all elite, coach all elite now to try to get one on this guy. You know how those games go. Just like when he was on the Broncos. So we'll see how that plays out. But New England, like I said, the offense doesn't look good. It's very stagnant. We'll get right there to the red zone, not be able to score. Mac is just throwing the ball he really got bailed out. He should have got a pick six. But
roughing the passer. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe it was Franklin Myers with the roughing the passer.
Shout out, bro.
That's it. Yeah, shout out to you, my guy. But on the flip side, you got to clean that up, bro. They're gonna need you to just lay off the QB. Those are game changing type plays. That's literally a game changing play. You 17-3. Patriots when the Patriots are down 10 or more, it's a guaranteed L. Automatic. Patriots are down 10 or more, they're losing. You just know it. You see it. They're not coming back. They don't. They're just facts. It's pure.
Nah, it's just the way you said it, man. Said automatic.
Automatically.
Nah, I'm crying. It's so right.
It's so cool. Yes. You're like, oh, what is it, 17-3? Oh, man. I mean,
I'll watch the game off.
Yeah. I'll be like, yeah, I'll watch it. I'll check it out. Maybe some guys make some plays that I like on the team. But
that's when I on my Sunday ticket, take the volume off the Pats game and put it to another game.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much like, of course I'm still watching it, but it's just like, I'll stay on Rick and Morty for a little bit, a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna watch
the
full game. I'm not gonna watch the full game, bro. When you're down, because I already know what's gonna happen. Like, and it's sad. It shouldn't be that way. But again, I don't know what the identity of the offense is. So until
right now, it's Ramondre Stevenson. 74 yards rushing, 77 yards receiving.
I'll take it. If it brings us W's, I'll take it every time. I'm a fan.
Absolutely. I think Ramondre is very good.
I think he's very good. But we still need Mac to play better. It doesn't matter. Ramondre can
194, a touchdown interception. Not going to win the games, buddy.
He threw the ball, 41 times? 35 times. 35
he was
times.
24 or 35 for 194, a touchdown interception. Our leading receiver was Ramondre with 7 catches for 72.
It's not acceptable.
I
know the Jets have a good defense. Jets do have a good defense. They do have.
But you know what the other problem is, CJ? Listen to the
offensive line. The defensive line was getting to Mac a lot. I'm not gonna. They were. But again, he still also needs to play better. Both could be true.
Because CJ, listen to these numbers, right? Myers had Stevenson had 7 catches on 8 targets. Myers had 9 catches on 12 targets. Then you go to Hunter Henry, 1 target. Damian Harris, 2 targets. Jonnu, 4 targets. Aguilar, 1 target. Parker, 1 target. Thorne, 1 target. So you had 20 of your 35 passes to either Myers or Stevenson. You have to spread the ball.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's seeing ghosts or like Darnold back in a couple of years ago. Or
that was tough.
I can't really call it right now. But yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's not. We don't have trash players, bro. Like we have some solid talent on our team. He needs to start throwing some dots. He needs to get right.
You know who needs to get right though? And once again, no bus talk yet. I mean, Zach Wilson, 20 of 41. Listen, 355, yeah, cool. 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, though. How you cannot in any game, I don't care if you're playing the 85 Bears, I don't care if you're playing the 2000 Ravens, I don't care if you're playing the Legion of Boom, the Purple People Leaders, nothing. The Steel Curtain, you cannot complete less than 50% of your passes in the NFL. in any game. 20 of 41. And I mean, one of those interceptions, CJ, you watched the game, he was trying to throw the ball out of bounds. He was trying to throw the ball out of bounds and threw an interception on that. Like, if you're an NFL quarterback, brother, and like I said,
yeah, man,
that was his like 18th game as a professional. So like, you're in that range of like, bro, he just technically finished his first year, but I mean, less than 50% of your passes, that's crazy.
Terrible game. He played so lackadaisical. Those interceptions that he gave us were so terrible. He could have really threw the ball away. He has all this elite arm strength, right? He could have threw the ball away if he wanted to. He just played so lackadaisical.
Back foot, cross bodies.
So he played so trash. He sold them. He sold them because honestly, if he doesn't turn the ball over, they beat us. Because again, like I said, our offense was terrible. We couldn't score. We couldn't score at all.
If the Jets had like a top
the Jets just
and
if Brees Hall was there, they keep the ball. They keep the ball. They keep the ball a little bit longer if Zach Wilson doesn't give us the ball, doesn't give us more opportunities.
Don't you think that was a little weird too, CJ? Like, I know Hall was like a big part of their offense. Obviously, him going down hurts them. But I think their first like 12 plays were passes. Like, running the football is what got you to 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, they probably they just brought in Robinson this week, so they probably couldn't.
Yeah, but Michael Carter's been there for 2 seasons now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Again,
like,
these coordinators, they want to make it. They want to make their quarterbacks look good. That's how they get these jobs. That's how you get a head coaching job.
Yeah,
you develop a quarterback and make him look good on another team, and these other teams will look at it, and they'll say, "No, listen, this guy's going to be a good head coach." That's how it happens. And he's trying to do that for Zach Wilson, but Zach Wilson, he has to mature, man. He has to really mature. Like those passes that he threw were unacceptable. He's just running around, just lofting it up there, like you're playing. Like, what do you think this is? Like, you think this is
BYU?
Whatever conference you played in, yeah, BYU. No, bro, this is the NFL, bro.
That whole MILF Hunter thing is going to turn into Job Hunter. Honestly,
it's just, I mean, like, and honestly, that's corny too. Like, you're the number 2 pick. You want to be, and that's really all he's known for right now.
Literally, not being good at football. Football is not what he is known for right now.
He's known for that. He's known for that.
And looking like he's 12.
Yeah, man, it's just sad, bro. It's just sad. So, just got to get right. He has to get better. He has to really lock in on his craft if he wants to stay in the league. This is real life right here, bro. I don't know. Like, you just can't play that bad. This is the second time he's played this bad against New England. Last year, he had a 4 interception type game. He played terrible.
Yep.
He played terrible. Now I thought he was going to learn from that. I'm sure. Like, you're telling me throughout that whole week before you play us, you're not watching that game, seeing what you did wrong, because Bill's going to go out and do the same thing that he did against you last game, and make it tough for you. So why are you not taking the checkdowns? Why are you forcing it down the field? Trying to do too much, and those interceptions were terrible. But those interceptions weren't even like trying to make a play interceptions. Those were really, like you said, trying to throw it away.
Yeah.
So those are just, to me, man, I wouldn't even have anything to say to him. And then the press conference, he was still kind of like nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Listen, that's the Jets' problem. That's the Jets' problem. They could get off that as soon as possible and try to get the right guy. They have some talent over there.
Like I said, if they had like a top 15 quarterback, they'd be a problem.
I mean, if they could get off this guy and find the right guy for their franchise, they have the talent. They have the talent to be special in that division and really compete. Defensively, they're really good. Pennsylvania showdown: Pittsburgh Steelers, Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles get the victory, 35-13. They move to 7-0.
I got to try and find this picture for you, CJ, because we talk about, like, I mean, I at least do, that I think the Eagles have the best offensive and defensive line in the NFL. Did you see the picture of one of the pockets that Jalen Hurts had to throw from? I legitimately don't think there was somebody within 7 yards of him. And I think they were rushing 4 people too. Like, they weren't, it wasn't like we're prevent defense, Hail Mary type of thing. I think they were rushing 4. I don't think there was anybody within 7 yards of him. I'm going to try and find the picture, but this was a smackdown once again, like the Eagles are very, very good. Hurts had 4 touchdowns in the game.
Eagles are the best team in football. Not very, very good. They're the best team in football.
I still have a hard them and the Bills. I know the Bills have a loss technically, but I mean, I want to see them play so bad. And I think the only chance we get is a Super Bowl, which would be a great Super Bowl. But I would love to see the Bills and the Eagles play because, like, the Bills' defensive line is fantastic. The Eagles' offensive line is very good. Like Josh Allen going up against that defense, that would be very fun to see. Like Diggs going up against big Darius Slay, and Smith would be going against Bradbury. Oh,
yeah.
Hassan Reddick would be up against
AJ Brown
against Goddard. Yeah, they just activated Trey White off IR.
Yeah, that'd be a good matchup.
That'd be a hell of a game.
Eagles Bills is a good game. That could possibly happen in the Super Bowl. They still got a lot of work to do, but
AJ Brown 3 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, he's amazing.
156 and 3 touchdowns. That's a grown ass man.
25 years old, one of the best receivers in the league. I don't understand Tennessee. We're about to roll right into Tennessee after this game, but how do you not pay him and keep him there with Derrick Henry? You could have had 2 of the most special offensive weapons on one team. All you needed was a quarterback. I didn't get it. I would have just moved off of Tannehill, get a rookie quarterback, pay AJ Brown, and then build around the team while my young guy is still in the rookie contract, just like how everybody else did it. But instead they trade him. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Getting rid of somebody. Oh, I found it. Bro, look at this. Look at this pocket that Hurts had to throw from. Bam. That is incredible. Like,
I mean,
how do you not have success with that?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Like that. That's a very good. Like Jason Kelsey, Hall of Famer.
Jason Kelsey, Hall of Famer. I gotta look at the numbers, but he could be in that discussion. Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the most athletic centers I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, he's
15 yards downfield, bodying people, running with them.
Yeah, he's excellent. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you don't have TJ Watt as well. You see how they double team Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
Because they know he's their best rusher, and then those other guys can hold it. Myalata and Lane Johnson can hold it down. And
yeah, just wanted to share that because that was absolutely incredible to me.
He was chilling. He was chilling in there. Eagles doing a great job. They're the best at playing complementary football in the NFL. No one does it better than them. Run the football, pass, run, special teams, defense, getting takeaways. They're just elite at everything.
They have 4 running backs, not even including Jalen Hurts.
Not even including the running ability of Jalen Hurts. Tight ends are really good. Wide receivers I just talked about. They're the most complete team in the NFL, and that's why they're undefeated. Pittsburgh, again, still has a lot of work to do. I still feel like they need to improve their offensive line. Their offensive line could be much better. I saw some posts out here trying to compare Najee Harris and Trent Richardson completely unfair out of line.
I saw that.
Very, very disrespectful. Still, it's the second year in the league. You're comparing him to, but it's just nasty talk, man. So your second year at your new job, were you perfect? Absolutely not. Okay.
And you're not playing a physical sport either.
Okay.
Most likely.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. So, again, these people act like these guys are robots and they're like some type of mutants. Like they're human beings. They go to work. They have error. They're not great at everything. So, for you to automatically say he's going to be, Trent Richardson or a running back that didn't have a great career in the NFL just because he has dreads and he went to Alabama. People love doing that. Or he's going to be Eddie Lacy or this, whatever. It's corny. Let's see the rest of his career. Let's see 5-6 years from now. It's corny.
The only thing was that play where he catches it and then just runs in place for 5 seconds instead of getting the first down. That's a bad look. But, I mean, a bust because of that play? All right.
He just needs to lock in. He just needs to lock in, too. He needs to lock in. But, again, I'm not going to sit here and call him no. I'm not going to call him any of that type of stuff right now. Or at all, really.
Low.
It's just corny. It's just corny.
I do hate Eddie Lacy though, CJ. First year of my life playing fantasy football, drafted him. That was the year he was terrible. That was my. And then the next year,
he was amazing at Alabama. He was amazing at Alabama.
I remember his first couple years in the league how good he was.
What he did against
first overall, and then the next year, you know who I drafted? Jamal Charles. Terrible.
Oh man, you missed them. You missed those guys for like a couple years.
My first 2 years of football were just not it.
You missed those guys by maybe like 2-3 years. You would have had great pickups. That's tough.
It was a tough life.
Jamal Charles was sensational.
Oh, I know.
He has some
QB Najee or anyone else will suck. I agree.
Yeah, that's fair. They just traded Kate Claypool. Now it's going to be Pickens. Pickens should get a lot of targets and a lot of touches now.
A lot.
This is it. There should be no excuses. You traded Claypool for this reason exactly. So it should be Pickens.
Anthony Johnson's very good as well. Like, I don't.
Yeah, they paid them. Yeah, they extended them. So that's going to be their two guys. And Fryer moved to the tight end position. So they need to get right with that. They got to get right with that, and they start giving Pickens the ball. See what he does. Yeah, Philadelphia continue doing what they're doing. Doing a great job. AFC South matchup, Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans. The owner of the Houston Texans is Derrick Henry, 202 Bills. Again, he's done this.
I think it's like the fourth game in a row he's did it to him, too.
I believe this is 6 times he has over 200. Just one of the most special runners we've seen in it ever. I know I use that adjective special a lot, but, you just can't take these guys for granted. And what he's doing right now is just amazing. It's amazing. And 200 yards, he's looking healthy, looks fresh, looks like he's ready to go. He looks like how he looked before, the injury happened last year. He's playing great football. I still wish they would have some type of outside weapon on the outside. They did have that, but obviously I just talked about that.
CJ, do you care for Henry's stats versus the Texans' last 4 games?
Last 4 games. Yeah. Let's say that.
He had 211 and 3 touchdowns, 212 and 2 touchdowns. Also had 52 yards receiving. He had 250 and 2 touchdowns, and then 219 and 2 touchdowns. Those are his last 4 games against the Texans. Owner ain't even the word. Like I don't know what to call that.
Yeah, elite football player. They run the greatest runners we've seen, and it's tough to take him down. These guys, they really don't want to tackle him. He gets the right lane. He gets in the right spots, hits that lane. It's good night. And he has speed. You don't think a guy like that can have that type of speed, but he does. And he can get right past you. And it's too late. It's too late. Even if you try to catch up, he'll just stiff arm you. Just complete running back. And I just feel like what are they really doing with him right now as he's in his prime? What are they doing? I mean, they tried. They a couple years ago they was making some moves. I was like, okay, yeah. They're building around a running back. Wow, this is new. This is fresh. I haven't seen this in a little bit. In a passing era, they're building around a running back. But now it's like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Really don't know what they're doing offensively. I just can't explain it. You trade your best wide receiver, and then you draft the wide receiver that hasn't even done anything close to the type of production that AJ Brown brought,
and has been hurt.
AJ Brown wasn't the reason why y'all lost.
No.
In the playoffs, he was part of the reason why he almost won the game with the touchdown that he had with one hand. Insane. So.
And he did that with Malik Willis throwing 10 passes, by the way. 212 yards from Malik Willis throwing the ball 10 times.
They're a run the football, play defense type of team. And you know what they're going to do every Sunday. But they just do it better than you, and you can't stop it. They're so good at it, you can't stop it. You know what they're going to do, but you can't stop it. And that's why they're winning these games. And they're going to continue to win this division because of that style. Because that division doesn't have an elite quarterback. So they could play like that and still win every single time. That's why they're going to continue to win this division. It's because they know their identity and it works for them, and they've seen it. They've seen that identity create W's. So they're going to continue that identity, and they're not threatened by any other team in the division because there's no elite quarterback in that division. So they could just keep doing like this.
No.
And now I still wish, okay, they still need to go out and if Malik Willis is a guy, that would be such a beautiful thing.
Oh,
that'd be such a beautiful thing if he ends up being the guy. If he becomes the guy, that's a beautiful thing, man. That'd be perfect for that team. He could hand it off to Henry. They play defense. If they could just find a wide receiver, maybe it's Traylon Burks. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe develop into that. Only time will tell. They got some other guys in there. If he becomes their starting quarterback, that would be, and he's like really good. That'd be great for the league.
And you see, you mentioned it like they're not threatened because no other team in their division has a star quarterback.
Nope.
CJ, they don't have a star quarterback, but you know what? They have an identity. No other team in their division has an identity. We thought the Colts did because they were running the ball with Jonathan Taylor so well. This year they're throwing it the second most times in the entire league. So all right, there goes their identity. The Texans, they're just a bad football team, so you don't got to worry about them. And then the Jags, like we thought, okay, you got Lawrence, you got Christian Kirk now, ETN, blah, 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 whatever. But, I mean, they're still not very good. So it's like you're going up against two teams that aren't very good and another team that doesn't have an identity. So, like, you know what you're going to do every week. You can game plan for what you're going to do every week, and you have the players to do what you want to do. Some teams want to do a lot of things. I'm sure a lot of teams want to become the Bengals and throw the ball all over the place, or become the Chiefs and throw the ball all over the place. Guess what? You don't have the players to do it. You don't have a Jamar Chase. You don't have a Travis Kelce and a Tyreek Hill when they had that. Like, you don't have that type of situation, so you can't have that identity. Even though you want to think you do, you don't have it. Yeah. So they're going up against two bad teams, a team without an identity, and it's just like, all right, you're going to let us cakewalk into the division every year. Because even last year, the Colts were pretty good. I think they got swept by the Titans last year too.
I promise you, Mike Vrabel told that to his team the first day he got there. Well, maybe not. Maybe Luck was still there. Luck was still there. So maybe after Luck left, he probably told his team. You see the quarterbacks in that, like, I promise you. I mean, this is how you motivate guys.
He probably said, you see the quarterbacks in our division, and you see that literal tank that's sitting in the backfield right now.
Yeah, I'll be
that's how we win.
I'll be like, there should be no excuse as to why we don't win this division every single year.
He's a hell of a coach, bro.
Yeah, he's doing a great job with what he's giving right now. Like, again, no one's really explained to me how we'd have to bring in a Tennessee Titan insider or a reporter or something. Maybe I could find one. Where I can really understand what happened with that A.J. Brown situation and why they weren't able to get a long-term deal to keep him there. Having a young quarterback like Malik Willis right there down the lane, I think he's going to play within the next year or so. But long and behold, they still get the W. Derrick Henry still doing amazing things. I just really hope they do right by him and put some elite talent around him so they can start winning some games. And he's not wasting his prime, taking all these hits. And they're not doing anything to, help him get to the playoffs and get a nice little playoff push. He deserves that with his talent and the amount of stuff he's done for this team. Commanders versus the Colts. Carson Wentz's old team, but Carson Wentz is not playing in this game. Matt Ryan
not playing.
Is also not playing this game. He's out for the season. Even if he were to come back from the injury, they said, "We're good, champ. We're good, champ." And what does that tell me? They're gonna tank. They're trying to tank low key.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's their version of tanking. Matt,
like, do they hope Sam Ellinger is a guy? Yeah, but do they think he really is?
No, I don't think they. I mean, yeah. Of course, you hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, but realistically,
no. They don't think he is.
You see Hooker. You see Stroud. You see Bryce. KJ Jefferson from Arkansas. We might need to look at, man. Listen, some guys out here in college football right now that's getting it done. I don't want to butcher his last name, but DJ from Clemson could be a guy as well.
Like Uwe Ungavale.
I'm a learn him. When I learn it, I'll pronounce it the right way. But I'll just say DJ right now. I don't want to disrespect his last name. That's his family roots. You know what I'm saying?
I believe.
Yeah. They got some. There's some quarterbacks on the rise. So they're looking at their situation where they're not going to win. They're not going to win the division, and it's time for them to get a quarterback. No more bridge quarterbacks. It's over. bridge season is done. This is it. That's what they're saying.
I can't believe he didn't get fired.
If I'm a fool,
Right.
I mean, he'll just let him go at the end of the season because they're going to start. They're going to start fresh and at the end of the season anyway. Clearly, they're going to bring in a new court. They're going to bring in a new regime. I don't know if I think they might bring in Ballard. Ursay might give Ballard another run.
I think they give Ballard another run.
We'll see, man. I don't know.
Have you ever seen a retirement screw a franchise up more? I mean, you went from Andrew Luck to like, what the hell are we supposed to do now?
Yeah, they just went from Andrew Luck to a bunch of bridge quarterbacks. And
Bill Rivers,
now it's like, now it's enough is enough. Now we need to, pretty much tank in order to get another guy, in order to get our guy. Out of just first two drives, he looked like a deer in headlights, but you can visibly see him getting more confident as the game went on. If Pittman or Pierce make that catch at the end, Colts win.
Yeah, that drive was a killer.
Yeah, that was tough for Pittman, man. But Washington, Taylor Heineke, they play for this man.
Bro,
they play for this man.
He has a job for as long as he wants one.
Yeah, he's a really good backup. I don't think he's a starter.
No, I don't either. But he has a job for the rest of his life.
He's a guy that can win you 5 to 7 games in a season. He can win you 5 to 7. Now you're gonna need the talent around. You're gonna also need the talent around him to maybe get to 9 or 10. That's the type of quarterback that he is. If you have elite talent around him, then y'all could go half and maybe get to 10 wins, like we see with Garoppolo and San Francisco, like we've seen in other places where they have more of a game manager, less of an elite quarterback, but elite talent around them. You could go 50-50 right there and try to win a bowl. You've seen that a couple times. That's what they have. That's it. But now you can't do that anymore, man. You need to go get a young quarterback. If I'm a Colts fan, I'm happy. I would be happy if I'm a Colts fan, because you've seen the bridge project for what 3 years now. Phillip, Carson, and Ryan. You've seen it for 3. It's two and some change, not even a full 3. It's Carson. Yep. 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. We saw it for 2.5 seasons. It's not going to work. So now it's time to get your guy. And here we are. This is the beginning stages of that. So good luck to the Colts. Hope it works out for them.
Because you just mentioned Derrick Henry, like what they're doing, wasting his prime.
100%.
We saw what Jonathan Taylor did last year. Like, if you get a quarterback in there with Jonathan Taylor at running back, like you could have some. I mean, Shaq.
It's always so crazy how when the elite running backs never have the quarterback.
No, McCaffrey.
Adrian Peterson, that's so unfortunate, man. This man played his whole career. I mean, he had Brett Favre for
a season,
a microwave second. That's how quick that was. It was so quick. But if he never had an elite quarterback, the numbers he could have put up, because if they would have had elite talent, I mean, they had some. I don't want to say they had some really good talent around him. Percy Harvin, Bashante Shenko, they had some guys. But if they had some elite level talent around him, especially like a real XY receiver on the outside that could bring another safety up there and create more lanes for him to run, he would have shattered records easily. Why do you think that's the reason why Emmitt Smith got all those records too, is because of Michael Irvin.
Oh yeah.
You got to worry about Michael Irvin, so you got to put another safety up there. So what does that also do? Create lanes for the run. So you have to pick your poison. Adrian Peterson never really had that.
No, you're right. I mean, you think about it. I mean, he doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, we're going to go into this next game right now. McCaffrey hasn't had a quarterback. Henry hasn't had a quarterback.
Chubb until now.
Chubb until now.
A couple weeks.
I'm trying to. Oh, I mean, realistically, Saquon, Daniel Jones,
Yeah, we're about to get the next, right? Yeah.
No, we gotta go 49ers right now because Chris McCaffrey went to the buffet and said, you know what, I want one of everything. He said, let me get a receiving touchdown. I can catch. Very good at that. By the way, if you ever need me, Jimmy, I'll be your backup quarterback as well. Threw a nice touchdown pass. And he said, all right, I'm having fun this game. I'll do my actual job and I'll rush one in as well. I mean, I wanted McCaffrey on the Bills because for me it would have been very exciting to see like him and Josh Allen and Diggs. Like that RPO would have been crazy. But like McCaffrey on the 49ers is one of the most beautiful things we might ever watch in football because the scheming that Shanahan does to run the ball was good with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson this season, Elijah Mitchell and Matt Breida and everybody. You have Christian McCaffrey now, who when he is healthy, don't care what anybody says, he's the best running back in football. Like I will take a healthy Christian McCaffrey over anybody in the league because he does everything. He can run it. He can run it, and then he will go out and run a better route than some wide receivers.
If he was available, I'm taking him. So I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. A healthy McCaffrey, I'm taking him over anybody.
I feel you. And this is something that's a big factor too. Christian McCaffrey, who's his father, Ed McCaffrey, who was Ed McCaffrey's coach, Mike Shanahan, who's Mike Shanahan's son, Kyle Shanahan, who's now Christian McCaffrey's head coach.
CJ just drew a beautiful circle for you.
He knows the West Coast offense already, like the back of his hand. I'm pretty sure his father taught him that offense growing up.
CJ, you know what the thing is too about this game?
So it's going to be look, and that's exactly what the 49ers do. They run West Coast. It's in their blood. That's how they won all those championships in the 80s. And then they got the one with Steve Young, West Coast all day. That's what they do. And
you know who didn't even play this game too? Debo Samuel didn't even play. Imagine what do you do now?
It's because like for him right now, it's like Roger Craig, but 2.0.
Like
let's see what McCaffrey is. McCaffrey right now in the Niners is Roger Craig 2.0.
Falk.
Look at what Roger Craig did with the Niners receiving back. He was ahead of his time. What he was doing in that West Coast offense.
Well, Marshall Falk, huh?
Yeah, but Roger Craig was doing it before Marshall Falk. I'm saying he was doing that in the 80s. Falk didn't come along until the 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, so, Roger Craig is Marcus Allen, those guys. They were really, they were elite, complete backs. They were scat backs, but they were also bell cows too.
Because you think about defending the team now, and it's like, all right, let's put some more people in the box to stop McCaffrey, and their offensive line is very good. All right, yeah, good idea. Never mind, Kittle's over the middle. Can't do that. All right.
The only thing that scares me is even though they have all those weapons, look how Garoppolo played against Kansas City. Still got outplayed. So even with all the weapons they got, it's still going to go down to Jimmy Garoppolo and how he plays. If he plays like trash, which he has played in the playoffs over the last couple of years, you look at his numbers outside of the Super Bowl year. His numbers have not been.
Oh yeah, he throws for 100 yards, and everybody thinks he did something.
So he needs to step up in the playoffs. Plain and simple. It's all we've seen all this in the regular season already. It's all executed in the regular season, and then come playoff time, they don't show out. Dallas could have easily beat them. Dallas had 14 penalties and had poor time management. That's why they lost that game. So Jimmy needs to play better in this in the playoffs this year. If he wants to get a bag somewhere else, it's inevitable for him to step up and have another.
49ers get Lance back. That'll add another dimension to the offense next season. Yeah, I mean, you got to see.
A lot of pressure. It's going to be even more pressure on him.
I know. You got to see if he can actually play. But
the pressure on him is going to be insurmountable now. It's over. I hope he lives up to it. I want to be successful, but I'm just saying, the way that the Niner fans are going to look at him now, every little thing now, he has the injury thing now, and I hope he gets right. But negative people are going to say things like that. And then now you bring in McCaffrey, so he has to play well next season, and he really didn't even get an opportunity to play, and it's unfortunate. But I don't know what they're going to do. They might bring Garoppolo back next year.
I'm telling you, bro. How do you, if they go to an NFC Championship game again, how do you bring Trey Lance back to this team? I don't.
You trade all those picks. You trade all those picks. So what's gonna happen? You're just gonna rob Garoppolo? I mean, I like Garoppolo. He could have a magical season and prove me wrong this season. I'm perfectly comfortable.
Listen, I don't.
No problem coming on here saying I'm wrong
either. But
I'm saying. So I'm saying you're saying move off Trey Lance and then do what?
You keep Jimmy.
This is what I'm asking you. I'm like,
but what's
Jimmy
the
be a
most
franchise
important thing?
quarterback?
I don't think he is, but if you win that much, like, yeah, they haven't won the Super Bowl. Only one team wins the Super Bowl every season. Like nobody, moves off their quarterback that much because they don't win the Super Bowl every year. I mean, Mahomes only has one. He's been the best quarterback in the league for how long? So, Josh Allen's been great for the last 3 seasons. He doesn't have one. Lamar doesn't have one. So it's like they're getting very deep into playoff runs and everything, blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you look at your players? And I mean, yeah, like, listen, if you do it, there's going to be whatever. But, like, how do you look at a veteran like a Trent Williams or Kittle next year when he's even a year older and things like that? And you're
you brought up younger quarterbacks, bro. Garoppolo's like 30.
Yeah, so but I mean, his first 4 years in the league, he wasn't a starter.
You brought up Allen, and yeah, exactly. There's a reason for that.
Well, yeah, because you're behind Tom Brady, though.
Yeah, but we're still like.
So if they go to the NFC Championship
took him how long?
game,
but remember, it took him how long for him to go get traded and get a starting job somewhere else, like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so, I think instead of picking up his option, they traded.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it wasn't like he was just hot.
So they go to the NFC Championship game. You still move on?
I mean, bro. I just said they might bring him back because you don't know. I don't know I don't know the timetable on Trey Lance's injury. I don't know.
He's out. No
clue. I mean, you're gonna probably have to do a competition. If you can't beat out Garoppolo, then you don't have your guy. It's that simple to me. Because if Garoppolo can take you to an NFC Conference Championship game and you can't beat that guy out in camp, then
because that would be what 3 conference championship games, 1 Super Bowl with him as the starter.
But, I really have to see that to believe it because these last couple playoff games he's been terrible, and they've had Debo had one of the most special seasons last year. McCaffrey looks like he could go on a pace where he could go crazy in the second half of the season and put up some really nice numbers for himself. And like I said, we watched that game last week against the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
And now you could argue Garoppolo has better weapons than Mahomes, and Mahomes they've still put up 40 on them. So that's my thing with Garoppolo. It's like when they go up against the elite of the elite under center, can you make enough plays to win the game? It's just that simple.
See, but this is also kind of my point,
Gridiron. Again, but there's a ceiling. There's a ceiling to that. And then they just that was it.
See, but here
they haven't been good since.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. How if you do move on from Jimmy and you go to Trey Lance, how do you know that you get any better?
But the Jets is I understand that the example makes sense on the surface, but it's still a bad example because they got worse over time. The 49ers are getting better.
So I mean,
the Jets started off well and then got worse. The 49ers started off bad and got better. Remember, they had Nick Mullins and all these guys, and they had some struggle years. First couple of years for Kyle Shanahan was not gravy. It was some.
Jimmy tore his ACL. Like 2 or something.
Right. They started bad and then got better. Jets started good and got worse. So, but on the surface, yes, I see that that is correct. That is correct. Yes. They had like a bridge quarterback, a guy that really couldn't take them over the next hump, but could take you right there. Garoppolo, Sanchez, exactly. It is a solid comparison. But I could argue Garoppolo has light years of better weapons than what Mark Sanchez had. Mark Sanchez had Braylon Edwards, Plaxico Burress, past his prime after the situation that occurred in the club. Dustin Keller, solid tight end, but not elite. That's not Kittle. That's not McCaffrey. That's not Debo. That's not Ayuk. So
my only worry is
no excuses for my point is just no excuses for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh no, I don't think there is either. That's what I'm saying. But like my thing is always like if you move off that quarterback and you decline because you did that, man, you talk about regrets not only for yourself, but that fan base is going to be pissed off. Like you go from somebody who was getting you right to the edge.
Yeah, but the fan base was ready to move up from Garoppolo after he just led into the led into a conference championship game last year.
And then they started losing, and people wanted Jimmy back in.
What was their record? What was it, like 1-2? What, not even.
CJ,
We played one game.
CJ, we just saw people chanting Zappy after 2 games. Fans are very reactionary. You said it last week. Fanatic. Right. Fans are crazy. Nobody gives anything time to breathe.
No. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, what was the timetable in terms of trying to bring him back?
Let me see. I don't remember what game Lance got injured in, honestly. So let me see. He got hurt in the Football Reference. He played 2 games this year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, small sample size. So again, like, the fans are getting mad after 2 games. Really? Wow. So he doesn't get a leash, but Garoppolo does? Wow, crazy. Garoppolo was just, I mean, it wasn't, in a way, it was a seamless fit right away, but he was still losing some games against elite guys. We're like, okay, yeah, this he's good, but not that good. That's it. And I feel like you could win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, but he still has to play better.
Yeah, I think it's one of those.
He can't just get carried the whole for 3 or 4 games in the playoffs and just be like, oh yeah, it's all good. He can't throw for 120.
We do this all the time. He's not.
Has to carry him. No,
we do this all the time. Jimmy's not the locomotive. He is a passenger or the caboose.
No, you can still win. You can still win with him. You can still win with him for sure. You can win the Super Bowl with him. And then for the Rams, I don't know what's going on with them, man. They tried to get McCaffrey, it didn't work. Offensive line obviously is struggling.
Awful.
I don't know. They need to lock in and have a discussion amongst themselves and really figure out what they want to do in the second half of the season. First half of the season looks ugly. They have a second half to right whatever wrongs they feel like that is in front of them, and get right. And get right. I feel like the division is still there to be had if they get on a nice little run, but they need to lock in. Stafford doesn't look 100% to me. Cup is hurt now.
I was gonna see. That's what I want to ask you about. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah, when playing in the game.
Quarter, 4 minutes left. They're down like 20 points. Why is he in the game? And why are you giving it to him in the game?
Listen, I don't get it. And then he gets hurt. He said he's like, he's good, but it's just the principle of it.
It's a risk you don't need to take.
Right, exactly. That's exactly 100%. So hopefully he's good. But they have much more other things they need to worry about. That's something they need to worry about for sure. I mean, he's on that Mount Rushmore, they're part of their franchise right now. Yeah, in terms of this window right here, Mount Rushmore window, not all time, just right here. And he's important, so they need him to be healthy. So, but this is not surprising because we've seen Kyle Shanahan beat Sean McVay.
I think it's
8-0 now.
Yeah, I think in the regular season, yeah.
8-0 in the regular season. So he has his number. He just knows how to, he just knows how to stop this guy. It's crazy. But McVay has a Super Bowl. It's wild.
And he beat Shanahan to get there.
That's
poetic justice. Someone said.
That's the one thing he could always say. He's like, "Yeah, you're 0-8 against. Yeah, I mean,
I won the important one
season. Yeah, but I got you in it. Yeah, so until he gets that, and he had the opportunity to get that, but he failed as an offensive coordinator at least. Giants and the Seahawks. Geno Smith. I mean,
what a story.
What a story. That's why he's on the thumbnail this week, guys. Definitely featured player of the week for us. And he's just doing a phenomenal job. He's gonna create an opportunity for himself to get a really, really nice bag. They keep winning. I looked at their team and I was like, they had Metcalf and Lockett. I'm like, they can't be that bad. And the defense is playing well. They're young.
Much better than anybody thought they would.
Yeah. They're young, but they're hungry. They've bought into what Pete Carroll was preaching to them. Woolen has done a really good job. Young cornerback, rookie cornerback has done a good job. It's definitely going to be in that defensive rookie of the year discussions, no question about it. Kenneth Walker II is playing well. Dog. Tyler Lockett is
preach. Say it.
He's one of the most underrated wide receivers of all time.
Underappreciated, underrated, everything.
It hit his helmet, the first one. If it would have hit him in his hands, automatic tap. But the second one made up for it. Easy, light work. He's one of the most underrated wide receivers Man, I remember watching him play, and like I was just watching Friday. I was watching Friday Night College Football randomly, just watching like Kansas State versus I forgot the team that was playing, and he was just going crazy, bro. And I was like, who's this guy? Like, who is this guy? And he gets shots to the Seahawks. I'm like, oh, Russell Wilson got him now. They're gonna be. He's just been creating magic.
Only 32.
Got a calm 6 years of dominance left. Easy.
Yeah.
Stay healthy.
He's only made the Pro Bowl once.
That's what I'm saying. But he still puts up crazy numbers. And he always catches the football. Always. Back in the end zone, sideline, toe drag swag, all of it.
And he scores touchdowns too.
He's like, good. He's like I said, he's one of them. He's the most underrated wide receiver. Him, Brandon Cooks.
Oh, nobody likes Brandon Cooks, and I don't get it. This man gets traded every other year. Like for what? He's a guaranteed 1,000-yard receiver every year.
Can't call it.
Rams are trying to get him back. I guess it didn't work out. But I mean, even Lockett, like 10 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns. He has 3 this year. He had 1,000 yards the previous 3 seasons. Like,
certainly, bro. He's towards ACL. I think like the year before those three 1,000-yard seasons. So
2017, it looks like he did because, maybe not though, because I don't know. It says he played in 16 games, but he only started 8. So I don't know.
I don't remember what year, but he came back and it just looked like the same player either way. And then for the Giants need a wide receiver. I thought they was going to make a move.
Jerry Jeudy, I thought everybody was saying
they traded their wide receiver, but didn't bring one in the trade deadline. So I don't know. Maybe they're banking on Odell, but they need a wide receiver. When it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, they can't convert because they don't have that guy. They don't have that guy. So anytime it was 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, they would just continue to get 3 and outs, and they still had opportunity to win this game. Reggie James, I think his name was, had 2 fumbles on special teams, and that really hurt their chances right there. But they had opportunities to win this game for sure. They need a wide receiver. They need a true wide receiver because you can't always win close games. You're just not going to always win close games. You're going to make mistakes. You can't try to play perfect make a perfect play every single play.
Nobody's me and you perfect all the time, you know.
You're bound to make mistakes, and you got to be able to take some risks sometimes. And I just think the Giants, they can't do that right now because they don't have the elite talent on the outside. So if they can bring in a guy like OBJ, or they need somebody. I really thought they'd bring in at least somebody else, make a trade for somebody.
Yeah.
To put around Daniel Jones. He really doesn't have anybody. It's Wan'Dale Robinson, Slayton every once in a while.
Yeah. Their leading receiver was Slayton. He had 66 yards. Like Tanner Hudson. Chris Myrick. Like, I don't even know who these people are.
This is what I mean. So again, this is why it's tough for me to critique him because he doesn't have what Jalen Hurts has. Like I said, if I'm saying the same things about Lamar and lack of weapons, I'm gonna say the same things about Daniel Jones. I keep it equal all the way, and I see it. I watch the games. I watch the Giants game. I've seen every Giant game this year, and they just need that wide receiver. If they get that wide receiver, it's a game changer for them because now it opens up Saquon to run the ball, like we've been saying the whole show. So That's what they need, and when they get that. I think they'll be fine, but they're winning right now. But credit to the Seahawks. It's tough to win in Seattle. That crowd is crazy, and Geno Smith is creating a great story for himself this season. Packers, Bills, and Buffalo. It was going to be a tough one. Packers, they just can't pass the ball. They They don't have any camaraderie with receivers. There was a report that said that Rodgers didn't even work out with wide receivers in the summer.
That's crazy.
You lost your best receiver, and you don't work out with the new and young guys to gain chemistry early before the season starts and the gain camaraderie. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's. I heard it. I can't confirm or deny. I'm not gonna criticize. But I'm saying if that was, and I'm not just saying that just for Rodgers. That's just common sense if you're a starting quarterback. It don't matter on any level. Like you're supposed to, get your wide receivers, get your skill positions together, guys. Do a group chat. Let's work out. Let's get some throws in. Let's get some routes together. Let's go.
Their leading receiver had 35 yards, and it was Robert Tonyan, who's their tight end.
Who's their tight end, right?
Tonyan. And who also, CJ, say this with me, has been there for a while.
Yeah, and even he's not really getting the rock like that. And he's been there longer than a lot of these guys.
I really do think the main thing with Rodgers in this passing game is the fact that he refuses to trust new people. I said it last year in that playoff game.
I don't know how they expect to win if he can't trust new people.
Last year in that playoff game, he threw 32 passes, and 25 of them went to Devontae Adams or Aaron Jones.
That's that stat. Yeah, that stat is crazy. And they just need to get it right. I'm shocked the Packers didn't make a move at the trade deadline. At this point, they may as well kick the tires on Will Fuller or T.Y. Hilton.
I would do anything.
I guess, or OBJ as well. They also could potentially be in the mix. I don't know if OBJ would make that move right now. I think the Giants are a much better fit. I think the Giants or Baltimore. I would love him to go to Baltimore.
Why, if you're OBJ, why would you want to go to the Packers? They're 3-5. It's cold as balls.
You don't want to be a part of that.
If you want to,
go somewhere cold. With the Giants.
If you're going to go to the cold, go to the Bills. They're 5-1. They're 6-1. They look like the best team in the league.
Yeah, go to Buffalo. I just want him to go to the Ravens, so it could be even. No, just because it could be even, bro. I just want to see. I just want to see something. When it's.
So I do a little science experiment.
Yeah, when the playing field is even, let's just see something, man. I think that's fair. But the Ravens, I'd have to see it that way. But that's neither here nor there. The Packers, they need to figure something out with that receiving core. I don't know. They need to come together, have a meeting. Let's talk. Listen, guy, I'll tell them, listen, you need to trust me. I'm trying to make these plays. What do I need to do in order for you to give me the football so we can try to, gain chemistry? What do I need to do? That's what I would say. I don't know if that discussion's been had or not. I don't know. I don't know the in-depths of the Green Bay Packers and too deep. But, we're halfway through the season. I feel like that discussion, if it didn't happen right already, it should definitely be occurring right now because you definitely need to get some type of camaraderie together as the second half of the season begins on Thursday.
I think they're dead.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if they missed the playoffs. They just can't do anything on all. And then there was reports out today too that a lot of the defensive players are upset with the scheme that they're running on defense. Their offense can't do it. When you start having that internal stuff too, and your field on the play isn't good, or your play on the field isn't good, not your field on the play, isn't good. That's when you really start getting into things. Right now, I'll use the Jets as an example, which is so weird to say. They've been winning games. Yeah, they lost to us this week, whatever. But they're 5-2, and their only issue right now is that Elijah Moore keeps talking I'm not getting the ball anyway. Don't ask me about Zach Wilson and our chemistry. I don't get the ball anyway. You can deal with that internally because you're 5-2 and you're winning games and you're playing well. But when you're losing. And on top of that, it's okay, the offense isn't happy because we're not being trusted. The defense hates the scheme that we're running. Our quarterback, isn't doing this, isn't doing that. Then it's that snowball effect. I'm telling you. So it's ugly right now. There's obviously a chance for them to turn it around, like you said, second half of the season. Maybe they pull off that RELAX thing, relax, that he did a few years ago. They win, a bunch of games in a row, and I look like an idiot.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Devontae Adams isn't walking through that door. At this point, I doubt OBJ is walking through the door. And other than that, you can't make any more moves because the trade deadline's over. What did you need that second round pick for? What did you need a second round pick for that they gave the Steelers for Claypool? What did you need it for? Your window is right now. It is right now.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get their philosophy when it comes to that. It's very weird. They don't draft wide receivers in the first round. They draft their wide receivers in the second round. They don't make big splash moves for elite guys. on both sides of the football. They usually draft their guys and they develop their guys, and that's
Can I
it.
ask you maybe
That's
a
what
weird
they do.
question about them?
That's what they do.
Do you
At
think
least they know what they want. At least they know what they do.
this might be a weird question? Do you think it's because they don't have an owner?
Well, of course, I think it's a lot of it has to play. Yeah, because if you have an owner and
then you have somebody bearing down on you, like,
yeah,
we got to get this
yeah,
done.
we got to go get this done. Yeah, we got to go get this guy. Yeah, let's make a trade for this. Of course, because then your job is on the line. So when that's not the case, you have a little bit more power and say so. But I just feel like that would just be common football knowledge.
You would think
to complement your quarterback with a wide
you
receiver.
would think.
I don't know. Anyways, Monday Night Football, last game of the week. Bengals, Browns.
A Halloween
to me,
murder.
If I'm sitting right now in the crib and the man, whatever crib he's in, and I'm watching this game, and if I'm Watson, I'm saying to myself, this is what we could do when I come back, and we could win this division.
He's gonna be so
maybe not next year. I mean, maybe not this year. We'll see. They had an opportunity to have a solid record for when Deshaun came back, and Brissett just wasn't able to close some games out. Unfortunately, he played great tonight. He played great last night, though. Played clean game. Amari Cooper again. This is the thing with Amari. Some moments he comes out, the next game, it's like 40, 47 receiving yards. So we just need some more consistency from him. He's talented. He's extremely talented. We need to see more consistency from him. Chubb, Hunt. I mean, what can you say? It's really not enough to say. Those guys are too elite.
Unbelievable.
They decided not to trade Hunt. I think that was a smart move. Why would you trade Hunt when you got Deshaun coming back and trying to potentially make a push? Makes zero sense. So whoever brought some common logic to that executive staff over there in Cleveland, salute to them. Because why would you trade Kareem Hunt? It makes no sense. Yeah, so I like what I saw from the Browns, man. Defensively, they look good, and offensively, if this guy could come back and play, the way he played, for the years before everything popped off, then they're going to be really good. They're going to be really good.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to come back. I mean, obviously, all the off the field stuff aside, like as a football player, it's like that last year he had with the Texans, remember where he walked off the field with JJ and he apologized to him. He was like, "Yo, we're wasting your time here. Like, I'm sorry, blah blah." Like he had like 40 touchdowns that season. Like Watson is unbelievable, and obviously, I think maybe the first couple going to be rough. He hasn't played football in a year. In over a year, so might be a little rough, and people are obviously going to make their jokes if it doesn't go well at first.
Oh yeah, listen,
but I mean, you have fun because you better hope it doesn't go well for a long time, because if it starts going well, NFC North is a problem. Because I mean, listen, the Bengals, they are kind of what they are right now. Obviously Chase couldn't play in this game because it has the hip thing. You hope that this doesn't turn into a Cardinal situation, though, where like because you're missing one guy, your offense turns into nothing. I don't think it will, because I think Burrow is very good.
I think
talent. Exactly.
Yeah, I think Higgins is capable. Yeah, I think Higgins is capable of kind of filling in real fast. Boyd could come in and kind of fill that void. Because remember, before they got Chase, those were the two guys that Burrow was throwing the ball to.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think it turns into that, but
no excuses, man.
No.
I mean, listen, I know Chase is a big loss. Don't get me wrong, but we're putting this guy in the upper echelon elite quarterback, and you still got 2 out of 3.
And Mixon.
And I don't know why they don't run the football enough. Maybe the offensive line clearly is not good enough when it comes to running the football. They're not great when it comes to pass protection either. They need to develop some type of chemistry as well, because we know they got the money. All those guys have been paid and got their opportunities to make a lot of money. So now it's time for them to do their part as well. Try to get some W's and help and protect Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's been continuing to get sacked, getting hit. You need this guy to stay upright for the next 12 years.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
You don't need a luck situation.
Every hit is like, oh.
Every time that quarterback goes down, you breathe in a little harder.
Yeah, every hit is.
And then when he gets up, you exhale a little bit harder because you're like,
so,
okay, thank God.
Yeah, they need to make sure they're keeping him together, man. Together.
Well,
they need to
CJ,
keep him upright, bro. They need to protect that man.
How about we make sure that we have another great week picking football games? All right.
Let's get it. You went
Do you know
10
how
and
we did
5.
last week? Oh, we did.
Yeah,
okay.
you went 10-5. I went 9-6. So again, man, I mean, we just it's gonna be close. We're not gonna take. Sorry guys, we're not gonna do bad picks. We love we want to win. Shout out to my Niners. I love Christian McCaffrey. Shout out Vince, big time Niner fan. Owns the Rams in regular season. Niners offense is so special when healthy. Also, what's good, fellas? What's good, man? Appreciate you, man.
Going on, Vince.
Appreciate you, man. 265 Media NFL football show. Go check that out, man. Go check that out. My guy Vince doing big things.
Facts.
Thursday night football.
Exactly. Eagles do big things every week, and
Eagles
I think they'll do it again.
Yeah, Eagles in the Texans. I got Philadelphia.
That's one of those you almost skip over, basically.
Right, Chargers, Falcons. Not
as easy as you
would
would
judge a book by its cover game. Yeah.
I will go with the Chargers, though, because they're off a bye.
I got Atlanta, man.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't blame you.
I got Atlanta. Dolphins and the Bears.
I got Dolphins by 25.
I got the Miami in this game. I hope the Bears beat them because then it'll make Patriots loss look not as bad. We still lost to the Dolphins at the start of the season, so still have catching up to do regardless. Panthers and the Bengals. I got Cincinnati. This is
a get-right game.
It could be, but we'll see. We'll see how the Panthers respond after that loss. Will it demoralize them going forward, or will they use it as fuel? We'll find out. I guess the team that just got blasted, so that should be an interesting game. Packers and the Lions. Both teams are struggling right now. I just still feel like Aaron Rodgers. I still got to go with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, yeah. You can't if you losing to the Lions. I'd love to see that locker room after a game like that.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. Raiders and the Jaguars. Man. I'm gonna go Jags.
Damn, I want you to go Raiders. I was going to pick the upset, but I'll go with it too. I'll go with it.
Is that an upset?
I think technically
the same record. Like
I feel like technically, maybe on the sports book, it would be an upset. But I mean, now you know what? Screw it. I'll go with the Raiders. I want to be different. Why not? Devontae goes for 153 touchdowns.
An old school classic. There used to be a classic game, classic rivalry. Now it's kind of a snoozer. Colts and the Patriots.
Bill against a rookie quarterback. Come on, son.
Sam Ellinger's rookie? Yeah, rookie.
Well, I mean, he hasn't really played.
Yeah. Rookie starter, I guess. Right?
Yeah,
in terms of experience. Okay, I see what you're saying. I got New England. Come on.
Yeah,
It's in Foxborough. They need to get this done. We need to stay right there on that top set. Try to get in the 7. Hey, listen. The schedule for New England is very tough. It is very tough. So
I don't trust
Mac gotta step it up.
I don't trust any team. I got Raiders. I'm not confident this man Josh McDaniels loves Mac Hollins over Adams. Yeah, that's one of the bigger stories. That Mac Hollins is the number one wide receiver when you have Devontae Adams. It's a bold strategy.
Yeah, I don't get that, and he was doing similar things to Brandon Marshall when he was in Denver. Just weird behavior. I don't. He's trying to be like Belichick, and that Belichick doesn't like having that number one guy, and he wants to get other guys going. I don't get it. You're not Belichick.
Watch the NFL in 2022. You need a number one. Shut up.
Yeah. I don't get it. Bills and the Jets. I got Buffalo. I think it's going to be a nice game. I don't know but I think the Bills pull away late.
I think the Bills crush them because Zach Wilson against that defense.
I think they go to James Robinson much more in this game and take the
ball. It would make sense.
Take the football out of Zach Wilson's hands is at least half of what he was doing in New England. Because, like I said, that was a terrible performance by that guy. Vikings and the Commanders. I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Have to.
The Commanders 4-4 after everything.
Who would have thought?
Crazy.
It's like that. You ever seen that meme from Hot Ones? Look at us.
Oh, look at us. Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Me, it's crazy, bro. After everything, Wentz and I got Vikings over Washington, but with Taylor upset Cousins in Washington, with Washington go on a win streak, will you guys be shocked if Washington wins?
Shock is a strong word.
I won't be shocked because Kirk Cousins is the quarterback and he's known to sell. So no.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like I said, I hope he changed my mind, but I'm only going off what he got drafted 2012, about a decade of evidence. So until that changes, he's had talented teams before. So, but yeah, I still going with Minnesota in that game, bro. What's the Seahawks and the Cardinals next?
Yes, sir.
Seahawks and Cardinals NFC West showdown.
Seahawks already beat them once. They think they do it again. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I'm gonna go with Arizona. No. All right, I'm gonna go with Arizona. Dang, man.
The immediate no got me crying.
I do not trust Kingsbury like that, bro. I don't know why I said Arizona.
Hey,
it's whatever. Nah, it's whatever. I'll stay with it. You can take Seattle. I don't know why I said Arizona, bro.
Rams Bucks. You would have thought beginning of the year, this is a barn burner. Game of the year candidate. I might fall asleep.
It's a game of the season candidate for both of these teams.
Yeah, you lose this game, you're in a bad spot.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I mean, they lost Thursday. They had some people out because it was a Thursday game, like you said. Winfield didn't play in that game. There was somebody on the Akeem Hicks didn't play in the game either. I don't think Brate played. So they get a little healthier for this game. And I think Cooper Kupp might be slowed down a little bit. And we all know the love fest of Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford.
Yeah. I'm going with the Bucks as well. They've been close these last couple of games, trying to get in right there. They've had little flashes, and then they just haven't been able to figure it out. Again, this speaks to that offensive line, which you talked about, when they haven't been able to really run the football.
Oh, you know what we forgot to mention, though? What is it, Shaq Barrett out for the year, right?
Yes, yeah. Prayers up. It's a tough loss. I'm going to still go with Tampa Bay in this game. Titans and the Chiefs. A lot of history between these two franchises over the last couple of years. This is an Arrowhead. I'm clearly going with Kansas City.
Have to. I mean, I don't know if Malik Willis starts, but if he does, I should say, they might win by 40.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for him, man. It's just a tough environment. I hope he plays well, but I just don't think he's going to win. I just want him to. I just hopefully see he can kick up. Ravens and the Saints. It's an interesting game. Saints definitely need this W to try to stay in the NFC South race, stay alive, and the Ravens need this dub too to stay in at the top of the AFC North. So,
yeah, I got the Ravens.
I'm gonna go with Lamar. When in doubt, pick number 8. I got Lamar, Ravens.
Well, there it is. Those are the picks of the week. We went through week 8. We went through the trade deadline, talked all the storylines, some performances. And let me tell you something. It was another wonderful episode with my guy. We're closing in on 2.5 hours. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and staying with us. Gridiron, you've been here since the beginning. So special shout out to you. Vince, you came in. Appreciate that. Michael, you were in here as well. Appreciate it. Everybody, maybe you didn't comment. Don't be shy. I think we're fantastic. But CJ, another wonderful episode. Listen, you guys know what it is for me by now. Anthony Conover _ If you go on my Twitter, you can click my link tree. Take it everything that I do. Gen Z, Hard Count, Backstop Banter. All those are available on podcasts as well. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Check them out. And appreciate everybody for spending their Tuesday night with us.
Link.tree/CJames9. Everything that I'm working on. NBA, NFL, Count the Bucket. Go on the YouTube channel. We just had a really good interview with Miami Heat reporter Will Manso. Had a great interview with him on the Count the Bucket episode. Go look out for that one on the Unwrapped Sports YouTube channel. Also on all platforms as well. Hard Count right here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Count the Bucket. That's on Sundays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Garter Podcast. Yeah, man. Doing some big things. Watching some NBA right now. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in and showing support. Really appreciate it.
And with that, we're out of here. You guys have a good one. And listen, we'll catch you next week. All right.